Good morning from the BAYUEMAS Oval here in Malaysia. And it is day 4 and match number 7. We are all in readiness. It's toss time. I'm joined by the two skippers, Elsa Hunter of the Triple W, that is Western Wonder Women, and Winifred of the Southern Jaguars. And we also have the match referee, Mr. Ramani Battumalai. Welcome to all. And it's toss time. Ramani, please take it away.
First mentioned team, Elsa. So you toss. She'll make the call. Hit. Hits call, hit win.
Is head?
Jaguar.
Okay, Vinny, won the toss. What would you decide to do and why?
We decided to bowl first on this pitch because morning early still and the dew on the pitch and also on the outfield and after the rain yesterday. So I think what we wanted we got to do.
Tell me something about the mood in the dressing room, mood in the team now.
All going well after the win yesterday, so you can see them cheering and having fun. So I hope they bring up the same spirit and continue the winning momentum and go forward and play their best for today's game.
So do we expect a change in your side?
We have got 2 changes actually, and so we hope we're going with the best team today.
Is the changes because of any strategic reason or injury, or what is it all about?
Not really. We just wanted to give chance to all the players to play the game. So this is a great opportunity for them, and hope they grab the opportunity and play to their best.
That's wonderful. Have a good one, Vinny.
Thank you.
Elsa, if you could come up, please. So your take on the toss, and had you won the toss, what would you have done?
I also would have bowled first.
Right.
Because it's a bit dewy this morning, but I'm still happy to bat.
Right. So what kind of target do you think you can bat the opposition out with?
I honestly think we could get over 150. That would be actually a very good target for us, especially with the dew on the ground. It'll be a bit heavy in the morning, but yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any changes in your side?
Yes, we've got Kanya Korn resting today, and then Fiza coming in.
Any reason why she's rested? Any niggle?
We just need to rotate the players a little bit, give everyone an opportunity.
It's wonderful to hear, and have a great one, Elsa. All the very best. So that's the news out from the middle here. It is Winifred of the Southern Jaguars who won the toss, and they will bowl first. Good morning and a warm welcome to all the viewers wherever you are tuning in from. This is day 4 and we are all in readiness for match number 7 from the BAYUEMAS Oval in Malaysia. Looks bright and sunny. There's not even a sign of the rain that hit the ground yesterday, and I hope it stays that way as well. 2 crackers of a match coming your way, and it's a good time to welcome my co-commentator for the day, Aryan Premji. Aryan, it looks wonderful.
A very good morning to everyone, and a very good morning to Sri as well. So yeah, it looks like a bright and sunny morning, not a cloud in the air. So we should have a full game here today. And we're here for match 1 of today between the Western Wonder Woman and the Southern Jaguars. Be a very, very interesting game. Let's hope we have 2 full games today. The rain doesn't play spoil sport.
You always expect, and the teams would know that as well, that the clouds coming in, and we always watch with bated breath if it's going to happen. And that's Western Wonder Women's team for you, and what a team it is, what a lineup it is, and they lived up to the expectation. They're all pretty excited about the prospect of going forward because they've had a fantastic start, and this is the lineup. Van Julia, Sita Rana, Fisa Javed El Sahanda, the captain, Divya Saxena, who leads the Canadian national team, Amna Sharif Tariq, who leads the Kuwait national team. No doubt of experience or leadership there. And you have Noor Aisha Bigaparin and Saubiga Erminoon and Danusri, the bowler, and Tersiana making the lineup. She is from Indonesia, another overseas player. It's a great, great team performing like a well-oiled machine so far. And that's a Southern Jaguars for you.
So we'll have Noor Alia, Kabita, Noor Dania, Siti Noor, Divya, Samira, Winifred, the captain, Marina, Mia Arda, Noor Anis, and lastly we have Noor Fatia. So the news from the center, we had the toss earlier, is that Southern Jaguars have won the toss and they'll be bowling first. So we're all set to get started, and let's get this match rolling.
The best part of this match, the best thing about them is the evenly matched sides. You have a few international cricketers, and we did mention about Southern Jaguars, a couple of Nepali players being the backbone. Kabita, what an innings she played yesterday. She is predominantly a bowling all-rounder, opens the bowling, but yesterday she opened the batting and stayed till the 20th over, scored a magnificent 50 odd, and within 10 minutes of time she came back and started to open the bowling. And never easy in these conditions, but that's a tribute to the kind of fitness these young women have. So all in readiness, have a look at the field. It's well spread out. There's 2 fielders outside the 30-yard and both behind the wicket. We have a fine leg and we have a third man. Here we go. Kabita. Watchfully played. She hits the deck hard. She hits the bat hard. I just love the way she runs in.
Showing good enthusiasm there. First delivery right on the money. Got a slip in place as well, so that's good attacking captaincy. Just getting a bit of a way shape, so the slip is definitely in play. Juan Julia facing.
This kind of pace is always going to be a bit of carry. You can expect the slip to be there for the entire duration of the power play. Tapped away on the offside, thinking of a single, but not to be. Aryan is always a pretty side with fast bowler running in the start of the match to an accomplished, technically sound batter. Technically sound is one thing, but in T20 also demands strike rate. So it's always a catch-22. When you are technically adept, you also probably want to play the right kind of shots, but you also need to have certain scoring shots which are not in the coaching manual in your repertoire. Played away on the onside. This will be the first run. Coming back for the second. They think about it and send back. One has to say rightly so. Off the mark with that single, the Western Wonder Women. Remember, they lost the toss, was invited to bat first by Vinny, the captain of the Southern Jaguars, who is also the captain of the Malaysian national team.
It's been a good start so far by the Southern team. and Kavita. But yeah, rightly said. They need to also up the strike rate. Just generally, you need to have a slightly higher strike rate in T20s. Yes, your technique might be good, but you also need to ensure that you're striking it at a decent pace. We see the left-hander Siti Rana set to face her first delivery.
Played away on the offside. The third man being brought into the business for the first time here. Both the teams have the tails up, which is very nice to see. And at the toss, I did ask Vinny, the captain of Southern Jaguars, how she felt and what the mood in the team was. And she said, after the win yesterday, remember they defended 114 runs yesterday. And they won by 13 runs, which was a fairly good bowling effort. And full credit to the player who's bowling now. And out of the 114, 53 came off her bat. This time on the leg side. Fine leg has to come around.
Just a single down to fine leg there. Well, that's a good point you make. Like always, when you're defending a low score and you end up winning, your tails are definitely going to be up, and the mood in the camp will definitely be really, really good at the moment. It's just a different feeling that when you feel like after the first innings you're down and out after just scoring 113, and then you end up winning that game. So it definitely lifts the spirit in the camp. So we see the last delivery of the first over of this.
I mean, the only one who sees a bit of Chris Gale in the way Sita Rana stands at the crease. I don't know.
I think I see a bit of that too as we see it crash through the offside. It's running away to the backward point boundary. Will it get there? Yes, it does. Just before the skipper Winfreda manages to get there. That's the first boundary of the innings. And after the first over, Western Wonder Women 7 for no loss. Coming back to your point, yes, I do see a bit of Chris Gale there. Let's have a look at her stance.
It's asking to be hit outside the off stump. It's a lollipop cuckoo, as Jeffrey Boycott would put it. It still needs to be put away. Still needs to find the gap, and the timing has to be right. And it's not easy when there's been an overnight rain. It slows down the outfield, but no half measure is there. Put it away in grand style, and it always a good feeling when you have a boundary in the very first over. And it's always such an annoying thing for a bowler to concede a boundary of the last ball, because he has to wait to come back.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Bowled a very good first over until that last delivery. Just a full toss, maybe trying to be a bit too greedy, looking for the Yorker first up. But Juan Julia and Sita Rana managed to get their team off to a decent start here. Sita Rana would be feeling a bit more confident after hitting a ball closer to the middle of the bat. Moves herself onto 5 of 2 as we see Divya going to bowl the second over. Keep her up to the stumps.
Very experienced campaigner. Captain Singapore for a long time. She has been one of the talisman cricketers for the country. A very strange kind of yes, she bowls off spin. It's a very unique action. A couple of hops before she approaches the popping crease.
Yeah, I think what's necessary is just what gives you good energy towards the ball. So it seems to be working for her. Saw her a bit in the warm-ups. Looked like a good prospect with the ball.
She has been struggling off late with the bat a bit, and yesterday I saw her do some shadow practice. That is cut away for a bit of fielding, and that allows perhaps both the runs could have been stopped, but definitely one. And as they say, run saved is run scored. And invariably, T20 matches finish towards the end. You see very close matches ending in the 18th over, 19th over. So many matches ending in the 20th over of the second innings, which means every run matters. And that's why we have superstars in fielding. It all started with a certain jaunty Rhodes back in 1992. Who can forget the flying Rhodes to dismiss in Samamul Haq? For the timing is Divya. And I like the approach of these two Wonder Women batsmen generally, because they don't get bogged down. At the same time, there's no reckless hitting as well. They play proper cricketing shots, and every time there is a loose delivery, they put that away. And to me, that's positive cricket. Sometimes positivity is often mistaken with recklessness. That it's all about not getting into a shell so much that being defensive, you don't miss out on a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it's necessary just not to get bogged down. But when there's a balance batting going on, it's necessary that you put the bad balls away. And so far, they've done that well. But it's been a good over this by Divya. Could have been no runs off it if it wasn't for the misfield. Just 2 runs of it driven away. No run again. Been a good over this. One delivery left, only 2 of it. Can she finish well? We saw that in the last over. Just went for 3 runs in the last ball, was a full toss. Have a look what happens here. Everybody on the 30-yard circle trying to prevent a boundary.
Trying to cut, I think it's too close to the body. Ends the over. It's a very, very good over from the Southern Jaguars perspective. 2 coming off it, 2 gone. It's 9-4, no loss. Van and Sita Rana opening the innings. Western Wonder Women having the tails up. We did mention that they're sitting pretty with 2 wins. And a win here would definitely seal their positive fate in this tournament. And nothing succeeds like success. But you also need to guard against some of those factors of complacency that can set in when you win. And I did ask Vinny, the captain of Southern Jaguars, yesterday after the match when they won, that we often outside the off. It's a wide. The first stretching exercise for the umpire for the morning. We'll come back to the point. I did ask. Often we do a post-mortem when we lose, and we try to learn, and when we win, we celebrate. But it's also important that we learn from a winning as well. If you look at any champion cricketer, any champion sportsman, or any champion in life, they always learn in victory as well. So, good action. Nippy, it's quite quick.
It's a good point you make there that sometimes when you win, complacency may click in and just make you a bit relaxed. But knowing one Julia, I don't think she's that kind of a player and that kind of a captain who would let any complacency just stick in. So that's good on her side. And yeah, as mentioned, as you mentioned earlier as well, it's important that they dissect what's gone wrong even when they win. See Kavita continuing. Well bowled outside off.
Kavita. Outside the off stump, just played away.
It's a good field change, I must admit. The previous over we saw a fine leg on the boundary, but after the first drive in the first over, changed the field. They strengthened the offside field. They got a short cover in as well, and they also got someone on the extra cover boundary. So they're learning early here. Are the Southern Jaguars?
And Vinny also, the captain, also gets a fair bit of assistance from Marina. She plays for Hong Kong. She's a live wire, keep the spirit up. Very important to have such characters. This going may not be easy every time. It gets tough. You need a character doing something or the other to lift the spirit up. Just like the way Kabida runs in. She has one of the longest run-ups in the tournament and also one of the quickest. I'm not sure if she is the quickest. Most likely she is. An amazing athlete, amazing cricketer, great spirit. Pretty shy in front of camera, pretty shy to hold the mic. We don't care so long as she performs away and gives in performances like she did yesterday. Yes, I.
We see one Julia, 4 of 11, slight struggle as Kavita this time loses her run up. Yeah, what matters is your performance in the end. And I like what you're saying here. Her run up is very energetic, and it may tend to bring a bottle of energy in the fielding side with the way she performs. He tries to reload, cut away, straight to the fielder, looking for a quick single, and they managed to get there in the end.
Good running. A direct hit would have made it interesting, but not to be. That brings us to the final ball of the over. Have a look at the run rate. It's 4.24. They will be fairly okay with it, provided they don't lose a wicket.
Yeah, it's important over here that Juan Julia gets some support from Sita Rana, especially in the running, because 5 of 12 means she's played quite a few dot balls. So every time the ball goes into the outfield, they should be looking for those quick runs. Last delivery of the third over. And beautifully bowled there. Just a hint of shape back into the left-hander. And just missed the off stump by a whisker. It's a beautiful over this by Kavita. Just 3 runs off it. Let's have a look at this again. Looking to drive. Lured outside off. But just...
Not back in. That's skill. That's dexterity for you. Just when the batter was expecting the ball to shape away, it was brought back in, cramping her for room. No answer. The feet not going anywhere. And that's a corridor of uncertainty that you call, I would say, the off number, a few inches. Here comes Divya. Waiting back on that and playing it quite late. A single. Very quietly rotating the strike and not taking any undue risk. And as these bowlers have warmed up, loose deliveries have dried up as well. And that's when you manufacture shots. You look at being cheeky.
It's been a very, very good start this by the Southern Jaguars. They haven't bowled any real loose delivery, and the only loose delivery they bowled went to the boundary. And after that, we just learned from it. They just haven't bowled any loose delivery. Any free runs are not given. And this reflects in the scorecard. Just 13 runs in their 3.1 overs are the Western Wonder Women. So they'll be looking to look for a boundary here in this over to get themselves back on track. We know the importance of the power play in T20s.
Played straight to the fielder, no possibility of a run. And the way Divya starts a run up, I mean, it's more like a tiger trying to prey very quietly, takes a couple of steps and then goes on. Cricket is all for entertainment. Different actions. Talking about different actions, which has to be the strangest action I've seen. Probably, talk about nothing strange about that one. Is a good shot. Coming back for the second, they need to hurry. The ball comes in and it's a good throw, but not good enough. Or it's a misfield. The misfield, third run conceded. The coaches tell you never run off a misfield, but it's a crime if you don't run off a misfield like this. You add to your kitty, you add to your scoreboard, and so long as they come, it's all fine how they come.
Yeah, that was slightly disappointing there at extra cover. Gave away 2 runs and then 1 more run off the overthrow. So 3 extra runs added in the total for Western Wonder Woman. Much needed this for Sita Rana and the Western Wonder Woman. Brings back Juan Julia on strike.
Cut away. No. Too close. She's one of the talisman cricketers from Singapore. She's 37 years of age. And she did tell me in the hotel, and she wasn't doing all the great with the bat. Divya. And she did some shadow practice. Quick single. The score moves to 17.
You have to feel sad for Divya here. She's given away 7 runs and 5 runs have actually been off misfields.
Absolutely. Avoidable runs. These could make a massive difference in the final equation. And coming back to her, so she was shadow practicing when everyone was waiting for the team buzz. And then after coming here, she was the first one to turn up the ground and she started shadow practicing again. And she said, I would like to middle it and I like to do. She didn't score a run yesterday, but full marks to the effort. Because you keep trusting the process, you may not get the immediate result. That is shot. It's a wide. It's a wide. Extras is another concern for a few teams. The number of extras. Discipline is a key. If you look at the best bowlers in the world, they're all the ones who consider the least amount of extras as well. You create a stranglehold on the batsman, have a stranglehold, and extras play a vital role. Hit away straight. Will it have enough legs to go to the fence? I don't think so. It is holding up in the ground, in the outfield, because of perhaps the overnight rain. 2 to end the proceedings. It is 24 gone. After being asked to bat first, the Western Wonder Women.
Yeah, it was just not enough meat on it for it to go all the way. Just got it off the outer half of the bat. And coming back to your point on extras, yes, discipline is necessary and it creates a lot of pressure, which leads to a lot of wickets. The most disciplined bowlers would also be getting a lot of wickets because the batters would need to take the extra risk against them because they're not getting any free deliveries. The Western Wonder Woman had a good over in the previous over, 8 runs off it, just to get the innings slightly underway once again. Still just a solitary boundary as we see Kabita coming back to bowl her third over. Interesting to see. On Julia, 7 of 15. She looks to flick it away.
Loud appeal. The umpire moves away. Only the bowler who appealed. The bowler would think that every ball is a wicket. That's how bowlers are. You've been a bowler. You are a bowler, I should say. Seems to be in some discomfort there. The batter, I think it is Grand Julia.
Came right off her ankle, you would think, as she looked to flicked and missed.
So the physio running onto the field.
Just have a slight hold up in play.
Could also be cramps, given the conditions, is sometimes cramps. And sometimes we take cramps lightly, even from the commentary boxes, we hope it's just cramps. But anyone who has played cricket out there, an experienced cramp, especially when you go for a run, that's when you feel the world is coming to an end.
Only you know how it feels when you're in there. From the commentary box, we feel it's just a cramp. The player should get on with the game.
Because it's one of the most teasing physical issues that you can face on a cricket field. Especially when you go for a run in the field, you want to convert a 1 into 2 or a 2 into 3. Here's the points table. The Western Wonder Women sitting pretty right at the top. 3 matches, 1-2, and yet to taste a loss. The only team not to have tasted a defeat here. And with a very, very healthy run rate, miles ahead of the rest at this point, 2.19, still a long way to go till we approach the business end of the tournament. The Eastern Lioness with 1 victory to their credit and having played 3, the run rate of 0.83. The Southern Jaguars, the team that is on display today, with a positive run rate, and they also have 1 victory under the belt. The Northern Queens yet to get off the mark in terms of victory, and I'm sure that whenever the opportunity comes next, they would badly want to taste a success as well, which would mean it would throw the entire points table into the balance. And from a viewer's perspective, from a fan's perspective, that's what you need. You don't want any team running away with it. You need a close battle till the last moment. You don't know who's going to make it to the finals.
Sitarana to face now down the leg side and free extras once again. Missed by the wicketkeeper and it will just be a bye. Getting back to your point, yes, from a viewer's perspective, from a neutral perspective, you always want a balance in the points table, and so far the bottom 2 teams will be looking to get off the mark. They'll be looking to challenge the toppers at the moment, but Western Wonder Women at the moment sitting pretty at the top with 5 points in the kitty and a +2 net run rate. Always beneficial when you have run rate by your side. I don't think it'll come into question considering how they're playing and considering that they have odd number of points.
Kapita. Trying to cut it, not quite getting it, is wide, and the umpire stretching his hands again. The extras slowly trying add up. What happens when you're bowling pretty well and all of a sudden an extra comes? Is a run that goes to the batsman's kitty or a batter's kitty without having to do anything. And then the extra ball. And in the heat, when you're asked to bowl an extra ball, it's even more taxing. It's coming back to the points table. As they say, a champion is not somebody who doesn't fall, but a champion is somebody who falls and gets up. And this great game of cricket over the years have thrown up some amazing comeback performances. I remember the 1999 World Cup, which was held in the UK, when Australia, almost down and out, had to win 7 matches on the trot to win the World Cup, and they did exactly that. And they didn't lose a match after that for 12 years. They won the World Cup in 2003 without losing a match. Not that they didn't have moments where they felt like losing the match, but somebody or the other put their hand up and said, we're going to do it. And 2007, the most clinical performance I've ever seen from a team in a cricket World Cup. They demolished everybody on the way.
Yeah, when you get that winning habit going, it's really hard for you to hold back. That's exactly what happened to the Australian team in that 1999 to 2007 era.
Cut away. Not able to get the timing right. Probably hit the bat slightly higher up. The timing wasn't there. And there was no question of piercing the field either. You can see the batter getting a little edgy. You need runs. You need a few boundaries. And another thing which I've noticed is game number 7 that we are having. There hasn't been a team 7 straight. Long on is inside the circle. Yes, I didn't about to make a point.
Once again, she's just keeping on hitting the fielders, just not getting any gaps in this inning so far. As we have been speaking about the captaincy, it's good captaincy. You're just strengthening the offside field. 5 fielders on the offside, and one Julia has been struggling. 8 of 20 deliveries.
Delicate, but not able to get the gap that she was not able to find the gap she was looking for. And the fielding has been agile. 5 gone, 25 for no loss. Sita Rana on 11 and Van Julia on 9. She has taken her time. Also struggled with her fitness a bit. Probably that would have had a say in her being a little slow. But the point is, the most important thing is, she's still out there.
Yeah, that's what matters. We've seen in the past few games as well, watching the IPL, Will Jacks was on 17 of 17. You would think he was struggling, facing a 200 plus score. Ended up getting 100 of just 41 deliveries.
And he got a 50 in 6 minutes. Well, swept away. That was done with some style. It won't run away down to the fence, but stretched the fielder. And the batters have enough time to come back for a second. They all add up. So the point that I was trying to make out in earlier is the fact that we haven't really seen any team making use of the power plays to the fullest. Largely the teams have been circumspect. And the move on has really happened after the 10th over. Maybe that's a strategy, or maybe it's the nature of the wicket, trying to cut it, not able to do it.
I think it's a bit of both. I think it's important to assess that if it's been working for you so far, you don't really have to change it that much, and that's been the story for the Western Wonder Woman. As we see a quick single here, One Julia slightly struggling here. She might have got one away, but it didn't go all the way, and now again just have to rotate the strike, and I think it's important that she gives strike back to Sita Rana. Only faced the 9 deliveries in the 5.3 overs so far. She's looked the better of the two batsmen today. Been hitting the ball better.
Sita. That's a wide. When T20 made its advent in 2005-06, and later we had the first T20 World Cup in South Africa in 2007, everybody thought it's going to be a bang bang. But a couple of captains showed to the world very, very soon that, another stretch. Another stretching exercise for the umpire. 2 consecutive wides. That's not going to augur well for her confidence. And the captain will be a little worried. She has had a decent control over the proceedings. The Triple W batters haven't been able to run away with it. But the fact is that you're there to take a wicket. Oh, that's a quick single. No, the throw was wide. Even if it was straight, unless it was come directly, it would have always been a safe call. Now, coming back to the point, it was MS Dhoni to a great degree. And then came the IPL, the subsequent year. And Shane Warne took the strategizing part to an altogether different height. It's very intense. It's just 20 overs. It's very intense. The strategy. And you need to be ahead of the game is what good captains always say. Trying to cut a loud appeal. The entire team in unison going up. But the umpire says, come another day, not this time. He is unmoved.
There was a loud appeal there. Everyone was confident except the batter and the umpire who thought otherwise. One Julia survives. Last delivery of the power play coming up.
It's straight. She celebrates her survival with the straight drive. And that is the end of the power play. 6 gone, 32 for no loss. Western Wonder Women have been invited to bat by Winifred, the captain of Southern Jaguars, and Sita Rana batting on 12 of 10, and Van Julia, the strike rate of 50 is 13 of 26. And again goes to show, Aryan, that if you remain there, runs will come. No matter it's 20-20 or 50-50 or test cricket, partnerships are the key. You lose into irregular wickets, or rather wickets at regular intervals, you always put pressure on the batting side. But a partnership, you start to see the ball better, bigger, you get used to the pace of the wicket, of the bowlers, you tire them physically and mentally, and then it is your time to catch them.
That's absolutely right. Now, the most important part is the cashing in part. They need to ensure that they make use of the start. Yes, they've used up quite a few deliveries. They managed to get themselves on to 32 after 6 overs. But it's important that they use this next few overs to cash in and get a few boundaries in. Once again, excellent captaincy here by Winifred, not spreading the field at all. She brings herself back on. Starts off with a wayward delivery outside the off stump, wided by the umpire. Still the same field that we had as we had in the power play overs. 5 fielders strengthening the offside field, everyone inside the circle, and a deep third man on the boundary. On the leg side, we have a mid-on, short mid-wicket, and a deep fine leg. So Winifred just bowling to her power play field even after the power play, as once again another punch straight to the fielder. What do you think of this move not to spread the field?
I think it's an invite saying, look, if you want to go over the top, go over the top just like that. Landing in no man's land. Vinny is trying to buy a wicket. She will know that it's ominous signs if these two remain for the next 3-4 overs. So you want to get a wicket, get the new batter in, try and put pressure, try and reduce the run rate. It is still over 5.5, and with a couple of boundaries, it can always skyrocket. And that's a nightmare for the captain. And she also knows that the fielders and the bowlers are going to tire a little bit as the sun is beating down. And she was also accused, maybe to some degree, rightly so, after the first match, that she didn't mix it up. She was way too predictable with the field setting, and she's a good captain, a good leader, or a good professional is the one who learns from mistakes very, very quickly, and she does absolutely that. That's driven straight. It has the legs, but the fielder is quicker, comes around it, cuts it off.
Yeah, as you spoke, as you mentioned there, and we just saw a change in the field. Long gone, and the deep mid wicket were sent back as there were only 3 deliveries left, so didn't want to spoil the over with the boundary. So once again, good proactive captaincy there, not just sticking to one field as she was accused in the previous games. Willing to adapt and change the field when needed.
I think she bore the accusation, the brunt of the accusation, only in the first match, and she was very quick to and she spoke to me, and after that, and she said, yes, I mean, I could have, in the hindsight. And it takes character and courage for someone to accept, and that to publicly, that look, I could have been. And the respect and regard that you have for a skipper like that goes up. We all make mistakes. Driven on the offside, a fielder cuts it off, sends back, a quiet single, all adding up. It is 37. It's coming back to the point. Smart, proactive captaincy, and you hit the nail on the head there.
It's good that you mentioned that she was willing to accept it, as the best trait of a leader is accountability. Just taking accountability for the actions you made, and that's exactly what Winfrieda did there. Good to see that she's learning and adapting.
She finished well. It's in the air, it's tongued away. One bounce. A single to end the over. 6 coming off it. 38 for no loss. The first wicket is still not coming as far as Southern Jaguars are concerned, and Western Wonder Women, I suspect, would be reasonably happy with the proceedings, although they would have liked one Julia to get a move on.
Yeah, definitely they need to take a bit of more charge then, and I think they are trying. They're just not getting the balls into the gaps, but they definitely need to get a move on now. 7 overs done, still going at under 6 runs to the over with 10 wickets in hand. You would feel that they have the resources in the bank. We see a short break. Let's just get a mini refreshment. Looks like we're all set to continue.
Do we see a change in bowling? No, there's no done here to continue. She's into her second over. It's driven away straight. The fielder long off, well inside the circle. When you see the run on strike now. Just get the feeling that Julia probably might play the sheet angle as well, and she would want to bat till the end, and that would allow Sita Rana to probably take a few more risk and get that run rate up. They would want to bat the opposition out of the game. Chucked away. Behind square. A single. Or is it a wide? We're talking about batting the opposition out of the game. The highest score so far after 6 matches is 138. And most of the captains do believe that 120 is a pass score. Going by that, if we subscribe to that view, I think anything over 130 or 130 is a very, very, very good score. And anything over 140, closing in on 150 would be a match-winning one. But funny things do happen in the game of cricket. And that is why it is called a game of glorious uncertainties, but nothing uncertain about that shot. And the way they are operating, the strategy seems to be very simple. Take the ones and the occasional twos, keep the scoreboard rotating, scoreboard ticking rather, and strike rotating. And whenever there is a loose ball, take full advantage.
And by the looks of it, one Julia looks like she's going to go now. She's just looking to attack every single ball. Straight to the fielder this time at mid wicket. It's good to see the intent, and one thing that surprises me is that we're into the 8th over now, and Sitarana has just managed to face the 12 deliveries. She's just facing less than 2 deliveries every over. Which is not a good sign. She's been going well. She hasn't got enough of the strike to make full use of the delivery she's facing. You see another change in the field. Long on being pushed back. Long off rather. See the hot weather. The place just getting a bit of a refreshment on the boundary.
Pitched up, driven, diving effort, and not quite able to prevent the single. But such efforts actually lift the morale of the side. And I think it's a captain. When the captain does that, it's precisely what you call leading by example. As a captain, do you ask of your players something that you don't do yourself or you're willing to do yourself, which is a key. And on that occasion, when he's saying, I'm willing to throw myself around.
That's why captains are called leaders. They lead from the front. They're supposed to lead from the front. They just follow what the captain tells them, what the captain does rather. Quick single again. One Julia looking to come down the wicket on every delivery this over. Nordania has noticed that and not giving her any length to work with. The end of 8 overs. Western Wonder Woman 45 for no loss.
There's a bit of sign of intent from Van Julia in the last over or so, but very clearly she is struggling with the timing and also struggling with her fitness. We've seen a couple of innings, brilliant innings played under difficult circumstances, and once memory goes back to one of the earlier matches with Rubina, the Nepali international, playing a brilliant hand under trying circumstances, and that turned out to be the match-winning innings for her team on that occasion. Then Julia just looks to change gears, standing well outside the crease. An Indian shimmy down the track and hit it straight, but straight to the fielder as well. Not
Captain Winfred has got this spot on here. She knows that one Julia wants to come down the wicket on every delivery. She's got her fielder straight on the boundary. Just knows that is her strong zone. She's trying to prevent any boundaries through that area. She'll put a lot more pressure on the batter. Sitarana will face now. One Julia still struggling. Winifred now coming around the wicket to the left-hander, looking to cramp her for any room. We've seen that Sitarana is very good on the drive.
Still a predominantly strong offside field for Sita, and unable to pierce it at the moment.
Slight misfield there. The short cover region allows a single.
And it also has to be mentioned that by and large, the bowlers have managed to bowl to the field. And the moment you spray everywhere, it's a captain's nightmare. And ask me a thing or two about being a captain's nightmare. I was one trying to land my leg spinners.
Let's not get there.
Or it puts immense pressure on you as a bowler. No bowler wants to concede runs. No bowler wants to spray. No bowler wants to be indisciplined. Again now.
Down the wicket again, straight down the ground. This time it's going away straight to the boundary. Beautiful fielding there, and not the best piece of running, just a single. We can see there when Julia not getting any timing on the ball, and she's struggling as well with her fitness. 22 of 36. She's trying her best, just not coming off today.
Oh, that's stomped away. No half measures there. It was there to be hit. It was a kind of a gift with a ribbon on the top of that. And Sita Rana says, thank you very much. One has to say that she has been deprived of the strike and she has faced only 16 deliveries so far. But the kind of form and the confidence that she has at the moment, she is going to make it count. It was drifting down the leg, perfectly pitched for the batsman, right in the hitting zone. All she had to do was to help it on its way, and she did it with absolute perfection. So that boundary will bring her into some kind of a mood. And Van Julia was struggling at the other end. They need to get a move on. 6 is the run rate at the moment. And after boundary, just pushing it to the offside and taking a quick single.
That's showing good character here is Sita Rana, trying to support her partner, who's been slightly struggling. So the first delivery on the pads, and she makes full to all of it, gets a boundary. Captain Winfreda was trying to double bluff there, had the entire field on the offside, just bowled one on the pads, but shows signs of a good batter. No premeditation, just watch the ball and hit the ball. Once again, down the wicket is Van Julia. A bit of premeditation here, but straight to the bowler. That ends the second over. It's a good over. There's 8 runs of it. In the context of the game, is a very good over. Run rate for the first time approaching 6. The 9 overs. Western Wonder Woman 53 for no loss. Van Julia, we can see, really struggling here.
Just get the feeling it won't be a bad idea for her to come off and probably get substituted, because she is consuming a fair number of deliveries and her movements hampered. She just may not be 100% over there. And what you want as a player is not to be a burden of any sort. You just want to come off and allow someone to take that position, and later, subject to the rules, of course, if you feel better, you feel fit, you feel you can, but she doesn't seem to be in any good shape at the moment. She seems to be in some agony. From a distance, it's what we are observing.
I think the players have decided to take drinks with that. But I get your point. I think considering that the batter is really struggling here, Van Julia, might not be the worst idea to come off the field and get a fresh batter in to support Sita Rana, who's been going well.
It's very important from the Triple W team's point of view to ensure that it doesn't break the momentum. If you look at it, they have not taken any undue risk. There haven't been any close run-out calls, no drop catches, no unnecessary hitting in the air. And in spite of not taking any risk, and in spite of Van Julia taking her time, playing some good cricket that allowed them to have a run rate of around 6. It's just around 6 all the time, and a solid platform from where they can launch themselves a little later towards the back end of the innings. So it is important for them, for the momentum to be kept. You don't want to lose it, and that's a drinks break. The players enjoy a breather, and in the comm box, we also enjoy a breather. So those who've joined just now, the story goes that Southern Jaguars won the toss earlier in the day and decided to field first, and going steadily at around 6 runs and over have been the Western Wonder Women, 53 for no loss after 9, marching at 5.89 runs and over. Here we go. Nuran is being introduced into the attack for the first time. And that's a boundary. Starts off conceding a boundary. And what a start after the break. Sita Rana is in some fine form. She was deprived of the strike in between. Oh, look at that. It was right in the slot, but still had to be put away, and she did that in absolute style. And let me also welcome Dinesh into the com box.
Well, good morning, Sri, and welcome viewers. Once we are back, and looks like it will be another boundary due to lack of commitment in the field, and she goes bang bang at the moment. Sitarana, as she strikes a second boundary after the drinks break. Looks like she has got the energy and the power to go. She's putting her heart and soul towards this innings, marching on for more runs, and pierces to the cup very well. Good placement. And this is sort of run rate that they should be eyeing for the rest of the innings, as they've been fairly quiet in the power play, and later on they've been really scoring a lot of runs. And this one, pull behind square, and not the best of efforts in the field, and it just nutmegs through the legs of the fielder and fetches a hat-trick of boundaries here. Sitarana Maga running riot after the drinks.
A rare sight here so far in this tournament, a hat-trick of boundaries. And the third one should have been stopped with a pretty sloppy effort by the fielder, conceding 4, and the pressure is right on the bowler straight away. 12 runs conceded the first 3. Can she make a comeback? The Sita Rana seems to be on fire, 32 of 20, propelling her team and taking hit straight again. This time quite won't go to the boundary. Fielded a single, 13 of 4. This is a big over. In the context of the game, this is a very, very big over already. 2 to go. Can she make a comeback of sorts and keep the damage down? Elsa Hunter has replaced Van Julia. We only hope that the injury is nothing serious. It's probably a little bit of dehydration or maybe a bit of cramps and nothing more serious than that. So Elsa will face the first ball. It's looped in the air. It was a teaser. It played well on the onside for a single, gets off the mark of the first ball. We're approaching the halfway mark of the innings. It's 66 for none. 6.83 is run rate. Remember, they were inserted to bat, asked to bat first by Southern Jaguars. And one of the considerations was obviously the rain we received yesterday. The captain expecting the... That's put away. This time, well fielded. Once you concede a boundary, which should have been stopped, is always under pressure. But this time, keeping it down to a single to end the over. And a very good one for the West End Wonder Women, 68 for no loss after 10. Elsa batting on 1, and Sita Rana batting beautifully on 34 of 22.
Well, this is sort of a run rate that the team is looking forward for. Well, having lost the toss, and looks like when the Western Wonder Women have always sort of adapt to the situations, no matter whether they lose the toss or maybe slow in the power play, they always find a way to really get the upper hand of the game, and that's why they deserve to sit top of the table. That's what a champion mentality is always there, and I think there's a bit of skipper from the volley that they would want to always get the best and make use of the conditions in the oval. Sita Rana Maga is doing exactly that. Slightly passive at the start, but looks like over time when she middle the bat, the inner confidence just leveraging, and she's doing all sorts to keep them alive in this contest. Look at that, just dancing down the pitch and glancing towards the leg side. Well, that was the one issue throughout the tournament, that maybe the run rate wasn't above par, but in the modern T20s, 200 plus scores aren't enough to defend a total, but here a total of 114 could be seen as a mammoth total for some teams to chase on, as we witnessed one yesterday at the match 5, where a score of 114 was put up and manages to defend it and win by a good margin of 13 runs.
Played away on the off. Just a single. Thinking about the 2, but sending back. Sending back Elsa Hunter is Siddharana. She's batting really, really well. She looks very confident and comfortable, completely untroubled. Played some delightful shots. There's absolute confidence. She gets on top of the ball. Wanting a second one is Elsa. But Sita saying no. You take charge now. 71 for no loss after 10.3. It's bright, it's warm, and one only hopes that later in the day the rain gods are kind and the rain stays away. You mentioned about scores and the par score here. I think it's a combination of a few factors, and one is the nature of the pitch, the nature of bowling in terms of generally it's been slow bowling, and of course the outfield, and subsequently the mindset. And talking about mindset, there was intent that was positive for a single.
Yep, I think it's a combination of many factors, like as what you mentioned about a mentality, and of course the pitch playing a big role, as it's raining cats and dogs in Malaysia, and when it's been. And this one goes high, goes long, and a heave into the leg side. One bounce for a boundary, a much needed boundary, and this keeps the pressure alive and looks like more refining required in the bowling, as it was a gift. Well, I have to correct myself here. It's gone all the way for 6. And she fetches one, a first maximum of this contest. And Sita Ranamaga is running riot against this bowling attack. What a 2 overs it has been.
Very, very productive 2 hours since the break. And Sita deciding to take the strike, deciding to take the attack to the opposition. And she is batting with tremendous amount of confidence and surety. Just like that, this is hit. But there's no stopping that one. Another 4. What a run feast it is turning out to be. Leaking runs at the Southern Jaguar bowlers. Winifred will be a very, very worried captain. That brings us the end of over number 11 is 84. And have a look at the run rate. It's in excess of 7.5. How often do we see that? Not very often so far, at least. This was hit with absolute surety. It deliberately hit in the air. One bounce into the fence. She goes for 4. Beautifully played.
Well, she's just 4 runs short of getting to a half century, maybe the fastest so far in this tournament. And past couple of overs, it's been above 10 runs being conceded, and this one going 16, being the most dearest one out of them all. And this is the highest run rate hike up we have seen so far, from 5, and all of a sudden it's 7.64. Wonderful stuff here in the middle by Sita Ranamaga. Well, almost she could read, and it's slightly predictable by the bowlers. And so far it's been very full, and she is making them pay the price of the back foot she punches. Well, one thing's for sure, batsmen are able to read the ball and the bounce, and they're able to get with it. The thing is, well, again, a low full toss played on the leg side. Yep, almost Sitarana Maga is able to get down on the ball and able to strike it firmly. As in the very first few innings, she was struggling with that due to the lack of bounce, but instead, she isn't waiting for the bounce. She picks up the length quite quickly, and there's a bit of change in the way she's standing as well, opening the three stumps and make her to play freely with the shots, and the freedom has allowed her to flow with runs.
Oh, had to hurry. A better throw would have put the batter in trouble there, but instead leaking another run, an overthrow. They seem to be losing the plot at the moment, the Southern Jaguar fielders. It's hot and humid, but on top of that, they are finding it difficult to contain Sita Rana, who's batting like a dream. 48 of 27, one of the best innings you have seen so far. In terms of strike rate, in terms of aggressive intent, just like that, hit it straight. But the fielder comes around it. When she hits, she gives it the full Monty. There's no half measures. 88. This is turning out to be a very, very, very good innings. And so long as she stays out there, we're looking at a massive target. And the Jaguars will have their task cut out. It's already a good score. Divya, can she produce a wicket here? It is cut off. A single. Moves to 89 and moves to Elsa. Elsa moves to 5 and brings Sita Rana on strike. She's on 49 of 28. There will be an eruption of sort when she gets there to the 50, and why not? Divya. Straight to the fielder, can't find the gap. She has to wait. That's the end of the over. 12 gone, 18-9 for no loss. See the runner batting on 49 and Elsa Hunter batting on 5. We are looking at a massive total for the Triple W. And Southern Jaguars will be thinking, where from can we get a wicket or two? They can't be happy with just a wicket. They need a few wickets in a heap to put the brakes on the scoring. Otherwise, this match seems to be running away from them.
Yep, so far it's been one-sided in terms of not losing the wicket. They've really put a price on the wicket and they're not letting it throw away. Well, apart from that retired hurt, it's been really superb. They haven't found the deadlock yet. Well, it's more of these things. Loosened deliveries have been quite often in the bowling, and that's one thing they should look to avoid. And it's been a really good batting order, and Sitarana Maga has been batting very, very well. She has really put away the loose ones, respected the good ones, and hope so she could lengthen an innings. And looks like new bowler has been introduced. Samira, what could she offer? Being brought into the attack. A wicket here will pull the strings and make themselves alive in the contest. It's a low full toss, a good pickup shot. Well, not the placement, but that shot had enough power to nearly reach the fence. Good fielding effort in the deep.
That brings Sita back on strike. Everybody is in anticipation of her 50, a well-deserved half century, or what will be a well-deserved half century. Is there a twist in the tail? Wide. The bowler doesn't want to be anywhere close to her. Trying to keep it away, and in the process, spraying it well wide. 91 is a score. We are in the 13th over. 5 to go in this over. 7.48 is the current run rate. See the run. Oh, that's in the air. It is cut off, but not before the batters crossing over for a single, and that brings up the 50 for Sita Rana. What a brilliant innings. Take a bow. This was a finely crafted innings. She was deprived of the strike at one point when Van Julia was struggling to get going, but that didn't distract her. She kept at it, put the bad balls away, and a fine 50. Played away. Elsa doing a fine job, giving the strike to Sita as much as possible. And that's the right strategy now. And Elsa would look to bat till the end, and probably Sita would change gears now.
Yup, a well-made 50 here. Well, she has really put her heart and soul in this innings. Been slightly passive at the start. And striking nicely after that. And most importantly is a no ball, which makes her situation even easy to score those boundaries and getting those maximums. This is a license for her to score more runs. And Sita Ranamaga is going to really make good advantage of it. Well, could she bring 100 of the team score to 100? Well, that's well bowled right on the block hole there, making it slightly uncomfortable for Sita Ranamaga, but nonetheless, she rotates strike, always getting that scoreboard ticking. Well, looks like there's been a clarity in the batting today. They've come out with a good mindset, and they've said just try to play along the field. There's been a couple of field changes over time. And she goes high. Has she found the fielder? No. Well, it was slightly airborne in the air, but it didn't have the distance to travel straight to the fielder. Well, Elsa at that particular time had her confidence, but trying to be slightly reckless there. And she could have maybe thrown a wicket, but nonetheless, no wickets in this over yet.
Have a look at it, Sita Rana. 53 of 34, 6 fours and a 6. A strike rate of 155. What a contribution. What confidence. Very good shot selection. Didn't take any undue risk. Most of them were proper cricketing shots. Was willing to run hard, took the ones and twos, was patient. Even when she didn't get the strike in between, she was calm and composed and collected. And then now reaping the benefit. From a Triple W team's perspective, they would want her to stay as long as she could. And those are really dangerous signs for the Southern Jaguar women. Another single from Elsa. She's doing her part really well, very quietly, rotating the strike and giving as much strike as possible to Sita. And rightly so. She's on song, she's on fire. New Dania turning out to be quite expensive today. 7.5 an over in the first 2 overs. This is the third over. Captain Winifred choosing to give her the third over on the trot. It's again firmly driven down the ground for a single. And that brings up the 100. That brings up the 100 for the Western Wonder Women after being asked to bat first, losing the toss. Has been a very, very fine performance. Shot out to the off stump, but not able to get past the fielder.
Yep, not the placement that she's looking forward to.
The current run rate is 7.32. That is hit in the air, but safe as well. Another single. From the Southern Jaguars' point of view, they need to get a wicket or two, but we also need to buy the wicket. How can they get the wicket? That's the big question. Because there haven't been any quiet overs, especially after the 9th over. The 10th over opened the floodgates. I think that was a catch. You need to hang on. You need to hold on to these ones. The half chances need to be taken for you to come back into the game.
Yep, that was tip of the bar there. Nearly caught, but that's the closest so far that the Southern Jaguars have came across amongst these overs. So they would need an absolute pearler to get rid of one of these batters in the middle. As things stand, it's 103 for naught. A wicket desperately needed by the one with Reds, and the Blues are never feeling blue at the moment.
There was a chance, maybe a tough chance, but had to be taken. That's the only way they can claw their way back into the game. Otherwise, you're running away with the game at the moment with triple W's. Thinking from the Southern Jaguars' perspective, can they throw in a surprise? Can they mix it up? Can they buy a wicket here? Then a couple of quiet overs. 2 or 3 wickets probably will peg them back, and then restrict them to a score which you would feel that you can chase down. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really tough. We have seen in the past that chasing hasn't been easy. It looks like may not go for 4, but 2 runs nevertheless. Vinny seems to be clueless at the moment as to what to do. It started off pretty well, pretty tight. The fielding was really good. But one has to say the bowlers haven't created enough opportunities.
Yep. The efficiency has been there, but most importantly, have they been enough proficient in the field? And look at that lovely shot. Sounded really meaty of the bat. And again, that sort of clueless situations and circumstances is where the captains tend to get stuck with, and they're just running away with it at the moment with that triple W's. Most importantly, the clarity, and they have really had that clarity throughout the batting, as they would want to put a price on the wicket, build a partnership from the start, and most importantly, put the runs on the board. As clearly the runs has been really, really piling up easily. Swept it away. And that's one they've been doing. Well, they have make it into fruition in the middle. So Elsa Hunter, the captain of the ship, really navigating them for a very, very good score here. As the only team who have really lead the chase is Western Wonder Women against the Northern Queens, the very second match.
7.38. Let's assume that the last 5 overs, you're going to add another 0.5 or 1 run. So 8, the minimum, if there's no hurry of wickets or a fall of wickets, a heap of wickets, which would mean we are talking about in the region of 40 to 44 runs in the last 5 overs. And that would get them close to, if not get past 150. And going by the trend so far and the belief so far, you are almost batting the opposition out of the game.
Yep, well said, because so far the teams who have really put a score and defend hasn't been above 138 runs, and the chase has been quite hard in this surface, as conditions will really drastically change over time. The rain and the humidity surrounding this ground, all of it comes into factor. And heave onto the leg side, and she has fetched the fence. Elsa Hunter here, backing Sitaranamaga very well. The skipper aiding to her, and she fetches the fence right at the end of the 15th over, where now they really sit comfortable and complacent.
I hope they don't get complacent. And what a way to end the over with a boundary for a batsman or a batter. And what an annoying way to finish the over if you are a bowler. And this is what the story has been so far. Having off to bat after losing the toss, the Western Wonder Women getting off to a very steady start. Nothing spectacular to start with, but there was stability on offense. It's all they needed. And see the runner stepping it up when it really mattered. And 58 runs, that's a story. That's a highlight of the story so far. 58 of 38. And well supported by Van Julia on the slower side, but nevertheless, she provided the support and in a commanding position. And to take you through to the end of the innings from now on, along with Dinesh, it will be Aryan Premji.
And again, going straight downtown. Does it have the legs? Well cut out by the fielder. Good piece of fielding in the deep. It's Marina who does the job. And Divya nearly conceding a boundary in the very first delivery of the over. Look at that diving effort to stop that from reaching the fences. Well, it's good to welcome you on board, Aryan. And how do you feel about the game? And talk us through it.
As I was talking to Sri early on in the morning, it was a slow start. We thought that with the wickets in hand, they would definitely have a chance to go big, and that's exactly what they've done. Sitarana has played an excellent knock as we see almost a chance of a run out, but in the end, all's well. So yeah, it's been an excellent knock here, especially from Sitarana. It's put Western Wonder Women in the driver's seat to look for a score in excess of 150. We mentioned earlier as well, you mentioned as well, that 138 has been the highest score so far in this tournament. They look well and truly set to break that record today.
Well, they've been making all sorts of record for being the only team being unbeaten so far. Well, I reckon they would want to really lengthen this unbeaten streak. I mean, their game so far has been a marathon. They have been not going for a sprint, going for the really short-term mindset. It's been very long-term, as they have had good rotation of the squad and always believe the longevity will keep you in great success. Whereas, as you can witness, the partnership between the skipper and Sitaranamaga has been exceptional. They haven't found the boundaries quite a flourish, but when they put away the boundaries and exerting the pressure towards the batter, that's what the game plan has been so far. And looks like both the batters have really read the pitch very well, knowing that no bounce is being offered. They are really getting under the ball and trying to sweep it and make the mid-wicket and leg side region fielders come in play, making the running errands. Again, this time going downtown, but definitely can't get the boundary legs, but surely a single.
Once again, a good over. They haven't got a boundary, but they still managed to get 6 of it already with 2 deliveries left. That's a Hunter now to 21 of 20. Normally quite an aggressive batter. She'll be looking to make a flurry of this last 4 overs.
Well, talking about that, she has been the second highest run scorer prior to this match, scoring 80 runs.
That's just the lack of bounce that you were talking about previously. Just punched straight down the ground for a single. 16 overs, 121 for no loss. Going at almost 8 runs to the over.
Yup, in the modern T20 games, score passes to 60 aren't enough, as it's easily to be chased. But so far, the trend of this tournament above 100 runs has been a mammoth total for the team chasing, as the Triple W's the only team to fare and fancy their chances while chasing due to a minimal total of 90 against the Northern Queens. Apart from that, it's been the one who has set a target that have won the matches. Could it be a deja vu? Or maybe the tables turn on?
Now it begs the question, Southern Jaguars won the toss and put in the Western Wonder Woman into bat. So, going by the trend in this tournament so far, the teams batting first have been winning most of the games. Slightly different approach. So far, it seems to be haunting them. The Southern Jaguars have been on the field for 16 overs without any rewards. You see some treatment. See the runner hasn't got much of the strike in the 16 overs, especially at the start. Now she's making full toll of the limited opportunity she's had with the bat. 62 of just 41 deliveries, striking it well above 150.
It looks like a lot of workload for the players, especially veteran players like Sitarana Maga, Elsa Hunter, and Rubina Chetri, who's been prone to getting cramps and slight injuries in the middle. Looks like the conditions have really gone under their skin, as well. This is part and parcel of the game, right? Getting those injuries and how you rejuvenate from them and be a better player. As yesterday we witnessed Kavita Kanwar immediately after 10 minutes after a valiant lock in the middle of scoring 58 of 61 deliveries. An instrumental knock in the win yesterday, Southern Jaguars against the Northern Queens. That is sort of things that we would want to see. And looks like Sita Ranamaga's innings doesn't come to an end. Maybe she would want to continue after getting some treatment. But for the timing, there's been a slight replacement in the middle. Well, we have seen no wickets fall. Batsmen sent back not due to wickets, but due to some constraints and injuries.
Yeah, I mean, this is just the heat taking a toll. It's just way too hot today and it's quite humid out there. So even though we're just playing 20 overs, it does take a toll on these batters. Interesting to see now two relatively new batters in the crease. Divya in at number 4. With 4 overs left, they'll be definitely looking for at least another 40 runs.
Well, it's actually incredible for the girls out there to play this really hot weather. You can see that they've been slightly exhausted. But one thing about Southern Jaguars is they are not dejected in any point of the game. Yesterday, when things were just slipping out of hand, Kavita Kanwa came in clutch, and it was a match-winning innings that she played. And the bowling just did fine to restrict a total of 114 for the Northern Queens, who had won the toss and confidently, boldly said they would want to go and bowl first. But then they immediately pay the price when they couldn't keep up with the task after being asked to bat and chase. So that's one thing. Southern Jaguars have never lost hope in any stage of the game. When things do slip off, they manage to bounce back. And luck has been in their side.
Yeah, that's a trademark of a strong team, a strong captain. They'll be looking to come back in this game, if not with the bat, then with the ball. Not with the ball, with the bat rather on later on. So see how this goes for the moment. We have 4 overs left.
And looks like it's Divya Saxena, the Canadian national team skipper, who has walked into the middle alongside Elsa Hunter. And the captain, the skipper of the Triple W's, pairing up with another skipper of a national side, would add experience as well as the firepower in the middle. And when it comes in play, they could be inevitable. It's Kavita Kanwa. And if it's drifting down the leg side, just wrapping on the pads, maybe just slightly sneaking away. It's a wide delivery, plus it completely misses everyone in this occasion. Keeper couldn't do much about it, diving onto a right, and the fielders behind square wasn't quick enough to stop that one.
It's just bonus runs here. Not what the fielding side needs at this point. Kavita bowled a really good first 3 overs, opening the bowling, but full start here, given away 5 runs. Come back this time, just punch back to the bowler.
Well, that's the thing in this games we have witnessed that the leakage of runs has been a key factor contributing to the runs as well. Well, due to the misfields and a couple of, and look at that one, spiked away on the leg side again. Well, coming back, it's the lack of interest when going for the field and not giving 100% at certain times as lead teams to go for, well, risk of giving away runs, and that is what led the batters to be more comfortable in scoring runs where they did not need to make effort in scoring runs where the effort has been made by the fielders.
Good start here for Divya, just gets herself off the mark with the brace. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And even with the ball, it's been a mixed bowling performances. They were very disciplined, and at the start they were quite disciplined, which led to a lot of pressure being built. But with time, they've just bowled quite a few extras, and they have not been helped in the field either. As we see a beautiful cover drive, it's running away to the extra cover boundary. Divya getting herself running with a boundary. What a beautiful cover drive that is. Mid off inside the circle, over pitch, doesn't need a second invitation. On the second look, it doesn't look to be that full. Just drives it slightly on the up and gets a boundary between mid off and extra cover.
Yep, a glorious drive, a dreamy drive to get her innings underway, and that's a shot with touch of class as well. Again, well, almost her stance has been slightly deceiving as she has 3 stumps open and she's looking for that leg stump Yorker, which she mix executed as this occasion, trying to go for the leg stump Yorker. Look at that, and maybe she didn't have to flick this one, but it had enough rigs as Fad Outfield always going to race onto the boundary, and these are free runs. Tickled away nicely, and looks like Divya is cruising. What a flying start she's having.
Yeah, she moves on to 10 of just 3 deliveries here. What an expensive over this has been. 16 runs off it. Kavita slightly disappointing in her last over. Finishes the 4 overs for 31 runs.
Well, that's one thing when you have a really busy worker in your office, always doing the hard work but not getting the reward. As Kavita Kanwar today, I think she's been working quite a lot as the workload has been drastically increased. Yesterday she was batting and bowling, and maybe the fatigue just trying to get over her. And in this hot and humid weather, it's not easy to go bowl out there, but she's trying her best to keep her team alive. Again, going for the Yorker length, and she does well. A good finish, but not the best of overs as things are just slipping away, and they maybe just hand over a great opportunity for them to go unbeaten again, triple W's. But well, it's too early to say anything as things fare. It's been the highest run rate that any team has touched so far, a run rate of 8. Well, a score that is a run rate that is quite ideal in the modern T20s, but anything might happen. You might not know. Cricket is a really funny game, and look at that. It's Marina that is having a hot pack under her net. Looks like she is having slight problems.
Yeah, I can tell you here, even in the commentary box, feeling the heat. And the batters and the fielders are feeling the heat from the bat and from the sun. So it's twice the heat that they're feeling. We see the skipper bringing herself back on. 2 overs, none for 14. Slightly expensive early on. Gets a single.
The focal point of this innings is Sita Ranamaga, who scored a staggering 61 during her reign in the middle. While she was middling the back quite often and taking on the battle against the bowlers, and she actually put away a flourish of boundaries importantly. And during the 11th over, where she scored a hat trick of boundaries, and that is what has been the point of inflection in the batting so far.
That's a good point you made, because as we've seen, all the batters coming in haven't really found it easy to strike the ball. But Sita is timing the ball really, really well, striking at 150. And Divya now striking at 240 as she sweeps it away behind square. It's running away to the boundary. Will it get there? No, it won't. It just slows up in the slightly sluggish outfield that we have today due to the overnight rains.
Yup, looks like there are some bumps on the road along the way, and the car couldn't reach its destination that it intended. But nonetheless, to cut off those, maybe save a couple of runs here, or precisely 2 runs from that. A strike that looking very favorably, almost probably touching the ropes, but unfortunately, the sluggish outfield being slide a plane in the neck for the batting side. And well, I like the way that Divya is batting as well. You could see all the batters so far today, apart from Elsa, who has been covering those middle stump and leg stump, but Sita and Divya are just opening up and giving some room at the offside, so makes them comfortable to play on the offside. Maybe any deliveries on the leg, they're just gonna whip it onto the leg side, as there's plenty of room to access. Well, that's a key thing in the stance that I've noticed today so far. And not only that, they're often getting under the ball, knowing that no bounce being offered as well. Well, that's the traditional stance. You could see the contrasting difference between both the batters. One is looking forward to attack, and one trying to anchor the innings and extend a time at the crease.
That's a good point you make. Batting with an open stance it just opens up both sides of the wicket much easier, especially if you want to clear your front leg and go through the leg side. See, she has an open stance, but as the bowler delivers, she gets back to a normal stance, and then she looks to access both sides of the wicket depending on where the ball is. So she gets her front foot based on where the ball is. So that's really, really good batting, especially if you want to take the aggressive route, which is why she's been successful. She's striking at 200. Elsa Hunter, on the other hand, just looking to guide the innings through and ensuring that there are no hiccups in this innings so far. Nothing fruitful for the bowlers. And with 2 overs left, looks slightly unlikely that there'll be a wicket here.
Well, we might not know. T20 is a really funny game when you are in the driver's seat, someone is just trying to overtake you and winning the race. But at this point of time, looks like the race is kind of completed, as the minimum target has been achieved, going above 120, and it's now 145, and looks like a mammoth total of this tournament, maybe the highest, breaking the highest score so far, 138 by the Central Super Girls, and now it's Triple W's who are just taking on another record. Again, trying to be more aggressive here, Divya. Just hammering left, right, and center so far. She's putting away any delivery that's coming at the slot area. And as Elsa just trying to give the strike to Divya and let her attack and play with more freedom.
Nordania bowling her last over. She's bowled well so far. 3.1 overs done for 20. Elsa Hunter, 11 deliveries left. Can she find the boundary? Goes down the ground, looks to go over the long gone fielder, but straight to the fielder there. Just a single.
Well, a couple of steps forward, maybe a chance of catching, but she was well in the deep. So there was no possibility of taking catch, but stopping that one would really, really save about a lot of runs. A maximum boundary. That's what the deep fielders always offer you. And good placement as well. Fielder deep mid wicket, a cow corner, long on, a long off, and looks like long off being brought back into the circle. Well, it's interesting to see no protection at deep behind square as both the third man and fine leg are well within the 30-yard line. Anything rushes away behind, prone to get boundaries. And again, this one whipped away leg side again. Well, one thing's for sure that Noor Dania will be really glad and delighted that she is not conceding a boundary yet in her very first 3 deliveries.
She's bowled well so far. She's bowling according to her field. She's got 3 fielders on the leg side boundary in front of square. She's bowling her off spinners right there as this time looks to give herself some room. Gets it into the gap. Half stop there, which means it won't go all the way to the boundary. Still managed to come back for a second run. Elsa Hunter this time looking to up the ante with just 8 deliveries left now. 150 comes up for the triple W's. What an innings this has been. They've yet to lose a wicket. Again down the ground, inside edge. Just a single. Again a good over now. This for Noor Dania and the Southern Jaguars. 6 runs off it. See some warm-ups going on with the ball. Getting all set for the second innings.
Well, it's Dhanushri, the bowler, who's been the pick of the bowlers so far at the Wonder Women starting lineup, and I think she's well prepared and get a rhythm before he's given the chance to bowl. Well, that sort of preparation will really motivate them and do the best in the middle. As so far, the batters have done the job, and looks like job has been a handover to the bowlers, and they would want to equal up the task as the batters. So early preparations is really key, and that's exactly what they've showcased in the middle. But nonetheless, they have still over the spare Southern Jaguars, who would want to do justice for what they have done by winning the toss. Which so far they have been not equaling to the task, and the decision would hope so not haunting them in the future, as they would want to chase a total that is above 150, which seems an avarice of a task. And it's Winnie to bowl. And a slight hesitation in the running, but both of them would make it comfortable. It looked like a mix-up, but it wasn't. While that has been a really good improvement in the middle, as both the batters are really good in calling each other on whether to go or not. There's no circumstance where there's been a yes-no situation, 2 months crossing to go over the other end, and that has really kept them in the crease for a long time. Swept it, gloved it maybe. Didn't get the most of that out of the bat, Divya. But look at the strike rate, that has been impressive. Well, that's got to be saying a good cameo being showcased in the middle. Those sort of cameos has helped in the past, but this will really get a strong grip of the game, as they have been at the box seats so far. Elsa is navigating them very well. The captain of the ship sailing with no waves. And has rattled the stumps. Its middle stump flattened, trying to go against, and heaving onto the leg side, has completely missed this one. Winifred will not be over the moon, but she will be delighted that maybe that could do some justice for what they've really opted to do in the first innings. A straight delivery, nothing spectacular. It's a complete mixed judgment and being reckless in the middle. But nonetheless, a valiant knock of 29, extending a reign in the middle, has done the job.
Yeah, it's taken 19.3 overs for them to get their first breakthrough. So that's how difficult it has been. And I was just about to mention how the mood in the camp would be to bowl 20 overs without reaping any rewards after winning the toss and electing to field first. But this would just lighten up the mood a bit, but still really does look like this game is heading the way of the Triple W so far. 155, the highest score so far in the tournament before this game has been only 138. So this is definitely above what is normally scored in this tournament.
Well, having said that, Winifred definitely won the contest against the other skipper at the end, but winning a skipper to skipper contest, it's not as mandatory as they would really want to get a win. That is what the skippers would be really happy forward and looking forward to. So could Winifred really ignite her emotions and maybe go for another one? And a swing and a miss.
At this point, it's just about damage control. 2 deliveries left, 155. We'll be looking to get that psychological 160. Makes it 8 runs and over. A good finish here in the last few overs. They haven't really given away any real boundaries. So maybe they could take some light from this and take it into their batting innings with 2 deliveries left. Let's have a look. Straight down the ground. They'll be looking to come back for a second, but decided against it, and rightly so, for 2 reasons. Give Divya the strike for the last delivery, and there was never going to be a second run anyways there. Winifred, last delivery of the innings of the first innings. Can they get a boundary and get to that 160 mark?
And no third man. There's a man at point. And again, pulled away on the leg side. A lot of room. But she should be well aware that there's a sluggish outfield in their direction. Well, she was slightly unfortunate in not fetching the fence. But nonetheless, it's been a strong finish. And Western Wonder Woman, well, apart from this over, the first 19 overs do belong to the Triple Ws nonetheless. And the end with a whopping 155 just with a wicket. And chase is well on the cards of 159.
Yeah, 158 for 1 definitely deflates the opposition. 20 overs and you only reap 1 reward. So it has definitely taken a toll on the fielding side, as you can see. There's no real victories here for the bowlers. So we see one Julia struggled early on, 22 of 37 deliveries, and struggled with her ankle injury. Had to retire hurt. Sitarana, 62 of 41 deliveries, definitely the star of the show, striking at about 150 runs per 100 deliveries. In the end, she also had to retire hurt as the heat took a toll on her. Elsa Hunter, the skipper, just steadied the ship towards the middle. 29 of 29 deliveries, played really well, and she was the only batter to be dismissed, bowled by the skipper, her opposition skipper, Winifred. 29 of 29 she managed, and Divya Saxena just put the impetus towards the end. Managed to get 24 of 14 deliveries, striking at 170. Amna Ashraf in the end, Sharif rather, 1 of just 2 deliveries. And one thing that would definitely bother the bowlers would be the number of extras they've given. They've given 20 extras, which has taken the score from 138 to 158. So these extras are definitely going to be looked after in the next game if they are to come back in a better shape with the ball. Let's have a look at the bowling scorecard.
Well, they've gone with 7 options today, and none of them look like a major threat to the batting. I suppose that batting was really very easy and no sorts of resistance been offered, as both of them have their economy rate above 6.5, except for Divya, who had bowled 4 overs and giving away just 23, and Winifred to actually get the consolation wicket, winning the skipper to skipper contest, dismissing Elsa Hunter. But Elsa Hunter wouldn't mind after getting a mammoth total of 158. And those extras certainly do bother, where has been the record breaking innings so far, where it would have been remain as 138, having no extras. That would, well, a lot of damage has been done in the very first innings due to the batting. Southern Jaguars won the toss and elected to bowl first. Hope it doesn't haunt them, but they would want to really put a good fight, and with that they would have to chase a whopping total of 159 out of 20 overs. So We'll be back once again to bring you live action on the chase of Southern Jaguars, who would take on the Western Wonder Women, who are looking for their very third win to lengthen the unbeaten streak. Well, viewers, wherever you're watching around the world, we are kicking off with the chase of Southern Jaguars. Well, initially on the day, they have won the toss and would want to field first, but definitely they aren't feeling all that good after giving away 158 runs for the triple W's to really stand tall and confident. And with utter confidence, they're walking the field with such energy and synergy between themselves. Well, it was Sitarana Maga who has been really instrumental in the innings, and captain of the ship alongside Divya would want to make a complete sweep, and that's exactly what they're eyeing for, to go for back-to-back wins. But for Southern Jaguars, who have won the previous match, would also want to stand tall and win their another one. But it has been a really hard task for them to do, as they would want to chase 159 runs. Mammoth total of them all, as it has broken the record for the highest score so far in this tournament, previously being 138 set by the Central Super Girls. While the ones in red have to be in par with their color, which means they have to really bring the bravery alongside cautious with aggression. This is what the batters want, and predominantly a really vital partnership is the one that could maybe reach the sky. And alongside me is Aryan, who is doing the commentary job. So how do you feel about this morning after Triple W lost the toss and putting up a really good performance with the bat, and Southern Jaguars who would want to equal the task and do the repair? And first ball on the way of Dhanushri, and a thick outsider just flew off the bat. It's been a great start for both the teams. Good cricket all round.
Yeah, after the first innings, it's a bright and sunny morning here, and it's been all bright for the team in blue. The triple W's have been playing really well, and in order for the Southern Jaguars to have any life in this contest, they would have to break all the records you can think of with the bat. You see Nordania cut away, but straight to the fielder. Dhanushri opened the bowling for the triple W's. 159 is the target. They'll need to go at just under 8 runs to the over. They have to have any chance of winning this, and beautiful bowling this time.
And of course, with the new ball, you would expect more swing and movement of the surface, but the only thing that Dhanushri wouldn't able to extract is the bounce, and that could be a disadvantage. At most occasion, it has been an advantage to the batter, as they would want to generate more pace and muscle through the deliveries. Look at that again, trying to fish the batter there, getting that outside edge, and that's a really satisfying moment when you see yourself bowling and able to beat the outside edge, and when the keeper collects, it's a whole other feeling. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it just gives the bowler a lot of confidence that you're able to beat the batter. So delivery this time, going straight down the ground, running away to the boundary at long off, but just fall back, and the batsmen are able to complete 2. It's been a sedate start. Kabita here, just getting herself going.
Yup, what an innings she played previously, scoring a staggering 56 to keep them alive in the contest when things were not going their way. It's a full toss, hiked on the leg side, was airborne for quite some time in the air, and she is running away with more runs. Well, that's what the full tosses can do, invite you to hit and maybe go for the maximums and sometimes fall for the trap. Again, a fraction mistake could change the whole course of the game, and that's what we have witnessed so far. lengthened partnerships being crucial for wins, and valiant knocks being instrumental in the winning state. As things stand, it's 6 runs from this very first over.
It's good to see the intent so far from the batters. They're looking to take the attack to the bowlers, which they should, considering they need to go at 8 runs to the over. They'll need to use this power play to get above that required run rate if they are to have any chance to strike victory in this contest, get themselves higher up in the points table. As we see a change in the bowling, it's going to be Noor Aisha. It's going to be bowling with a deep third man and a deep extra cover, strengthening the offside field with 2 fielders in the point region. Have a look. Get some swing first up, but it's down the leg side. They'll just flick it for a single. Outfield has been on the slower side today.
Well, one thing's for sure that the batters and the bowling charts not only has been dominated by the Western One women, even the fielding. There are top 3 fielders, especially one Julia being one of them, taking a lot of catches and indirect run routes. Well, that's the thing. They have been superb in every department they have had, whether it's batting, bowling. They would want to do their best. It was a short delivery, whipped across.
It's good batting once again. She was already on the front foot looking for something full, but the moment it was pitched a bit short, she just held back and pulled it away in front of square. Managed to come back for a brace.
Well, normally the all-rounder role is always predominantly overlooked, but sometimes they could really come handy. And it's a no ball, and it's not the best of deliveries, which means it's a free hit. So it gives all the freedom for the batter to go for the biggies.
Kabita not too happy to miss out on that. Definitely think she could have got a boundary from that. Anyway, she has a free hit. See what she can manage off this free hit. Here we go.
It's a fuller one, and it's trying to go over the infield, but unless it just stuck in between the fielders. She was looking for a dead strike, but nonetheless the intention is there. The execution was there as well, but slightly unfortunate not to get a boundary in this occasion.
Just couldn't time it too well. Just got it off the bottom of the bat. Kavita taking the aggressive route. Danya now on strike on 2 of 4. Cut away straight to those 2 fielders we spoke about earlier.
Yep, Nuraisha is bowling more fast. Well, she's having quite a decent pace and she's finding a lot of movement on the surface, but the area she's landing maybe giving a lot of risk, as she's bowling at the short length area always gives the batter to pull a one and a bit loopy in the air. Well, as well, we were talking about all-rounder role has been pretty overlooked, but in the modern days, all-rounders has been the most reliable players in the team, as they could do the job with the bat and the ball. And we have seen a couple of those, like Rubina Chetri in this tournament, and Kavita Kanwar. And this one on the leg side, it was a full delivery, given full invitation and accepted very well. That's the first boundary of the innings. A juicy full toss, and capitalizes on that. Nurdania fetches the fence. And end of the second over, it's been a welcoming start for the Southern Jaguars, as they have shown the intention, and the execution has been no short of perfection in this delivery.
Yeah, it's finally they managed to get their first boundary. Let's have a look. It's a loopy full toss, and no second invitation needed for the batter Nurdania, as she fetches a boundary through the square leg area. It's a good start this. They're just on par with the run rate. They're going at 7.5 to the over. They would know, as they've seen from the first innings, this wicket suits the batters more than the bowlers. And the more wickets they can keep in hand, they would know that they have a very good chance of chasing this down. Tanushri bowling a second over, fuller, wider, straight to the field. They're looking for a quick single, which is never there, but manages to get back in the end without any damage.
Yeah, that has been some deciding factors at certain occasions when they were trying to go for the singles, trying to be cheeky.
Beautifully bowled once again. Just cannot get any bat on it. Just she looks to slug it through the leg side. Interesting to see. She's still getting some swing away from the right hander, but the skipper deciding against a slip. We saw two edges in her first over. Know the importance of this wicket. Kavita, very good batter. This time she just guides it down to third man for a single. Good batting there. Not getting the boundary, just rotate the strike.
Yep, sometimes you'll be stuck in a situation where you can't get the singles, and that is when the pressure builds up, and that is when the batters would want to rush and get those singles, and an indirect run out or maybe direct run out is very much on the cards. As you can see, a thick outside edge again, and Halsa should really rethink a fielding set, as maybe a slip could come in clutch, maybe taking the one that is flying off the edge. But so far, it's been brilliant bowling, good control of the swing, going away from the batter, and Dhanushri is really causing a lot of problems. These are signs of getting a wicket. Well, that has been launched onto the leg side. Does it have the legs to reach the boundary? And yes, it does. Delicately beyond the leg side, and she middled the bat. So there's no one stopping those. And Kabita Kanwar off to a flying start here.
And she says that yes, you can swing the ball, but I can also advance down the wicket and hit you over the leg side. I don't care what swing you're getting. Excellent counter attack. Kavita gets herself into double figures. Decides to stay in the crease, just tries to get it behind square, but there's a fielder there. The end of 3 overs, 21 for no loss. It's a good start this for Southern Jaguars.
Well, from this stage, we can see that they can't afford to pile up the dots, and they have done exactly that, trying to get the rotation and maybe get those boundaries quite often. As we see, this is a good cricket all round. One team trying to curtail the runs, one team trying to put the runs on the scoreboard. And this sort of competitiveness really drives them through the innings and be more productive in the field and off the field. And for the batting side, they're doing just all right in the power play. During the power play, we have seen teams scoring under 4, and this is so by far the highest we have seen so far. But most importantly, is putting a price on the wicket. Well, Swavika on the golden O band, tickled on the leg side.
Good to see some variety in the bowling.
And it's also very nice to see a left-hander bowling across to the right. That is one of the most satisfying things to watch in world cricket, as you would want to see those in-swingers and the one that comes across to the right-hander. That sort of variation is really key as a left-hander when you're bowling.
Sobika, left hammer, bowling really well. This time looks to advance again is Kavita, but cannot get the gap. Been a good start for Sobika, just keeping the line and length. This time goes slightly fuller. Then goes aerial over the long on fence. 2 bounces over the rope. So Kavita definitely taking charge of this second innings. She knows that she needs to up the ante as Nurdania is slightly on the slower side. It's been a good counter attack here. Let's have a look again. Just takes the aerial route as she waits for it this time, gets down on one knee and hits it over the mid wicket fence.
Then trying to jam this one down. Well, who bet who could you ask for a better thing to do when things aren't rolling your way and you would want to hand over the job? None other than Kabita, who has been the brute force of this inning so far, scoring 17 of 14, touching boundaries in real right times. Again, trying to jam this one, gliding it towards third. She's just trying to maneuver with the field, just accessing the gaps and piercing one and two.
It's been a good comeback by Sovika here to giving a boundary. But yeah, as you mentioned, Kavita fresh off of 50 in the previous game. Once again, looks to slow sweep and gets it into the gap again. This time, not that good timing, so it's not going to run away. Managed to come back for a second. So 7 runs off this over, so just keeping themselves in check. They're not going too aggressive, but they're still managing to get the runs. After 4 overs, 28 for no loss. We have got a game on in our hands here.
But looks like Kavita has resumed where she has left off yesterday after a valiant knock of 56. She is continuing where it's left. Normal service is surely resumed, and Nordania is really backing her up well by playing the second fiddle role with Kavita. It's just that the bowling needs to get a couple of wickets on the deck and maybe could be racing away. As things stand, it's Aisha who's going to bowl from the Nagara end.
Nudania drives but cannot find the gap. Playing a good hand here is Nudania, second fiddle. Rotating the strike whenever possible. You see, that's a hunter just changing the field.
Again, thick outside is just flies over third man. We have seen that in a couple of occasions, and this has been a norm so far. Had there been a slip or maybe a backward point, she would have been a goner as well. And that's inviting a lot of risk of losing a wicket. And hopefully, they wouldn't want to pay the price for it because it could be really costly. And this one playing onto the leg side, good footwork. Most importantly, the craftsmanship there was exceptional.
Kavita seems to be loving that leg side. Just getting across the line and looking to drag everything towards the mid wicket area. So far it's been working. But that's a hunter, the skipper, opposing skipper, just changing the field, having the mid wicket in place for Kavita. And yet another edge. How many of these have we seen from the Nagara end? Like the fourth or fifth edge we've seen in the 5 overs so far.
Well, that's the thing that they should keep an eye on. That maybe those edges could have been catches, and this has been an edge-seat thriller as well. As things standing, edge-seat thrillers are right on the cards. And again, bowling Fuller. Oh, a lovely drive. Good timing at that one, but she would just drive straight to the fielder, and a possibility of a run is completely ruined there. Well, you could almost see the intention, and the execution has been flawless.
Good over this, just 3 runs for me. Can she finish well? Just down the ground, looks to get a quick single, but she cannot. And it's 31 for no loss after 5 overs. Good over that from Noor Aisha.
Again, good diving effort there by Divya to just stop that one from racing away. Well, it's not been entirely the bowling and the batting has been great, but also the fielding. You could see that slight mishaps in the field. You couldn't really find such errors as well. Maybe the bowling has been quite comfortable by the batters, but nonetheless, you could see that they've been really energetic the field and always pumped up to really cut off those singles and doubles. That is also crucial in the modern game that they
See, Sukaiba is continuing.
well, the contribution of the fielders as well fairly important in this game, as you would want to really stop those runs and prevent those leakage, and that's what the triple W's have exactly done.
Kavita on strike. It's down the ground. Good delivery there. Just not allowing. So it's been a good last few overs here for the triple W's, not giving away any free runs. Just 1 run off this over, 3 runs off the previous. Just 2 deliveries left in the power play. Need to look for the boundaries. It goes in the air. They should be taken. No, it's just over the fielder there. Living dangerously now is Kavita trying to get the boundary. Again, good delivery there. Just not giving her the length to work with. Has to force her way. Just a single. Nurdania 11 of 14 now. Kavita also slows down. 21 of 22.
Yep, the asking rate has steadily increased as well. From that, a lack of boundaries in this over has really resulted in asking rate, and all those hard work shown by Swabika just goes down the drain after giving an extra that we have rarely seen. It's been a rare phenomenon in this innings. Well, they've really buckled up in that sense. Well, a power play to come to the end. And a good stop by Swabika. A good finish to this over. Just 3 coming of it, and the power play comes to a close with just 34 coming of it. Good intention being shown, but the execution could be a better one. Intention with execution would really aim for the skies. And that's the signal. Confirmation from the umpire says that the power play has come to the end. And I think it will be the perfect time for me to welcome Mr. Sridat.
Any time in this match would be a perfect time, Dinesh. Thank you very much for that warm welcome. Not giving up, hanging in there. And if you look at this innings, it's pretty similar to the innings of the Triple W team. Run rate around that 5.7, 5.8 mark, consistently threatening to touch the 6 mark. And then, if they could have a replication of those couple of overs, the 10th and 11th, and especially that massacre that happened in the 10th over, where 3 consecutive boundaries of the first 3, then they're in with a chance. But a wicket or 2, the Triple W would feel that they are right in the driver's seat.
Well, at the moment, it looks like Sitaranamaga is all right, and she's well rejuvenated and replenishes her electrolytes to get back in bowlings. And she's really done with the bat. Could she do it with the ball? And looks like Sitaranamaga just piling up the dots after the power play. And this is really good captaincy by Elsa. She would want to be more of a slower bowler, knowing that there's lack of bounce and knowing that Kavita is a really aggressive batter. She would want to always take the aggressive route and pounce on. Gets swept. Good stumping in behind. Well, a loud appeal by the wicketkeeper, but others not really interested in it, including the umpire.
I think Kabida is the key. If she can be there for the next 4-5 overs and get a few boundaries away, which she is quite capable of, the strike rate may not be up to the scratch at the moment, but that's being tongued away, taken on one bounce by Amna Sharif, the experienced campaigner. So experience is shown even when you field the kind of movement, you allow the ball to bounce, do what it has to do, don't overrun it. Simple things that can make a big difference in a game of cricket. Tapped away fine on the leg side. Some tidying work, but a single taken.
Yep, as you mentioned, that fielding has been a key in their success as well. You could barely find an error in the field, and maybe no misfields in this entire inning so far. We couldn't find much of it. Most importantly, the fielding has been key, and that's one thing that really gives them an advantage, that leaking of runs, and maybe those extra runs have been completely avoided in the innings. And this could really defend a half decent total that they've really put up. So, not the batting and bowling has been right on the money, also the fielding has been.
Has the making of an interesting match. A couple of big overs for the batting side, the Southern Jaguars. It is going to be even Steven, might go down to the wire. And a couple of big overs, they would feel that they can emulate, they can replicate what exactly the Triple W did. On the other hand, a couple of wickets would peg them back here. And from there, coming back with the asking rate shooting up would be a Herculean task. But for the time being, and I feel condition-wise is probably the toughest time to play because the sun is right on top. But full marks to the players for keeping themselves as fit as they could be, and some scintillating action here so far. Jazz, when we talked about, we were speculating what a par score would be. That limit has been stretched in quite a bit today. The way the Triple W women went about their business with the bat. The special mention of Sridhar Rana.
Well, it's Amna Sharif to continue, who's been brought into the attack by the skipper. Again, more spin action. What story they could spin? Again, it's a half tracker, but it wraps the pads. Well, no sort of appeal. Well, it looked like it was drifting down the leg side. And again, a really good delivery. Well, in this delivery, there was a lot of turn being offered by the pitch. It was a juicy full toss, but drives it straight while it's just absolutely racing across the turf.
Good technique by Elsa. The way you slide, there's a classic demonstration of how you slide and stop a ball. You always need to have a second line of defense. And in this case, it's the body right behind the stretch arm. Look at that. Very little chance of that ball going through. The simple things that we keep hopping on make a big difference. Cut away, but brilliantly fielded. I think it's Divya, the very experienced cricketer from Canada. She captains the Canadian national side. There's a very pivotal area on the offside. The point area, the gully area is always in the business. This time, hiking it over. The infield chipping it, but not quite getting the kind of connection that she would have wanted. The singles are not going to hurt the Triple W much. You don't want to concede boundaries. And the asking rate is just about to touch 10. And once it crosses 10, it is going to be a psychological barrier as well. Played away on the leg side, another single. The hopes are still alive. It's getting increasingly difficult. The run rate is dropping down, which means the asking rate is climbing. Perhaps running like a taximeter back home.
Well, nonetheless, it's 41 for naught. The loss of wickets will really keep them alive in the contest. But most importantly, the runs on the board will decide who wins today. So maybe a couple of aggressive overs and get the aggression, and maybe not being reckless and throwing away their wickets could really see them through the innings. But at the moment, Kavita cruising with 25 of 31, slightly slowed down due to some good deliveries, and maybe the field has really aided the way of the triple W's in keeping Kavita quiet. And it's New Dani on strike against Sita Ranamaga. And big turn towards the offside. It's turning away and going across the line. It was New Dania.
Quite literally, that missed everything. Missed the bat, missed the pad, missed the stumps, missed the keeper. And luckily, not enough pace as far as Triple W is concerned to take it down to the fence. It's one. Oh, living dangerously is Kabita. And that's how she would live, as we know. And that's exactly what the doctor would order at this point, because the asking rate is over 10. I think it is for the first time in this innings it has touched the 10 mark. And they would want to bring it down and to keep it down to manageable proportions. Another single.
Well, it's been a complete reverse here in these innings. As you can see, the very first 6 overs they've been hammering boundaries, but then it all come to a stop as things really take a drastic turn, as there's been a lot of bounce and turn being offered when the spin been running, especially Sita Ranamaga accessing the correct line. Maybe there have been some patches of foot that is enabling the turn. Again,
hit straight. But look at it. There are 4 fielders outside the circle till the last ball, and Elsa bringing the long on fielder inside the circle for the last delivery. The thoughtful captaincy. She's mixing it up, and now it's back to 4. For Kabida, there are 4 back on the fence. 2 on the offside. 2 on the on.
But the only thing that she could do is just drive it straight down the ground. Apart from that, nothing much you could have done about it, because it's been really brutal bowling by Sita, accessing a more spin and turn off the surface. Most importantly, keeping things under control, as they wouldn't mind if they are conceding singles, because there have been drought of boundaries, and 45 only coming off the 9 overs.
She would have a spring in the stride in the kind of innings that she played. She will have a confidence sky high, and when she comes to roll her arm over, and that would definitely have a rub-off effect, and it's exactly what the captain would want as well. They have a very good score, very healthy score, and they would have to play really badly to lose this one. Otherwise, the match is, I would say, in the Triple W's favor. I do understand that there hasn't been a wicket so far, but so long as the asking rate climbs, so will the amount of risk to be taken by the batters as well. And the more risk you take, the greater are your chances of losing a wicket or 2. That would peg you back again. Amna Sharif. Cut away on the offside, straight to the fielder. A single. Just get the feeling that Kabita has started to tire a bit. She had to bowl, and then coming back to open the innings has been a fantastic contributor for her team so far. Delicate.
She nearly chopped it on towards the stumps, but nonetheless, it just squeezes through the wicketkeeper and maybe towards the field. But that's a risky shot there. But Adna Sharif trying to get the breakthrough that could really put them at the box seats, as we are nearing the first half of the second innings. Fuller, and that rattles the stump, castled. as she would really want a wicket, and she gets it. Great time.
Zamna Sharif, the experienced hand, producing the goods when her team wanted. This is exactly what the Triple W wanted, having posted a mammoth score on the board. They wanted to get rid of the opponents. It has taken a bit of time, but not really would bother them because the run rate is well within control as far as the Triple W are concerned. In spite of the fact that the first wicket has taken the time to come, they haven't really run away with it. And somebody is running into the field with the drinks for the players. And it's time for us to take a breather and maybe a cup of coffee as well. See you on the other side.
Well, we are bringing you once back for the live action here, and it's 48 for 1 as things stand. Well, it's the Southern Jaguars who are chasing a mammoth total of 159 runs to keep themselves alive. But as things stand, it's slightly stressful and a bit pressurous in the middle. As you can see, Kabita, the only one able to extend an innings, but she would want to unleash a brute force in order to get things going. But at the moment, the game is belong towards the Triple Ws, and Amna Sharif picking up a wicket in the very first or maybe second over, I suppose.
This was the time when the Wonder Women teed off and the two massive overs came. And as far as the Jaguars are concerned, the time when they lost a wicket. In contrasting fashion, the innings have been progressing. And if you look at the run rate, it's comparable, although not exactly, but they were about 5.5, 5.6, 5.7 around that time. And then came the big overs. And that catapulted them to an altogether different plane. And from there, they never descended. They probably would have felt that they could have accelerated a little more towards the last couple of overs. But then give it to them in this heat. And they did some brilliant running. The outfield slowing the ball down. And in spite of that, to get to the score that eventually did, I think it's a fantastic job. And Samira K. She doesn't have much time to get her eye in. She needs to go right from the word go. But for the moment, it is Kabita Kanwar on strike. The two Nepalis battle it out. Teammates both play for Nepal, the national team. They would know the games of each other really well inside out. It was an interesting battle. Gave herself some room on the offside, but not quite the connect that she would have wanted. Coming back for a second send back. This is needless. This is committing suicide. What a time to make such a silly mistake. The calling, I suppose, from Kabida was clear. She said no. And Samira, not quite concerned about that. She was running a show of her own in her own world, wanting to take off for a second run, which was non-existent, and in the process paying the ultimate prize, a second wicket down, and it's clearly the Wonder Women having the noses ahead at this stage.
Well, clearly this is an unnecessary run out at this stage of the competition. You could see that was a clear chant of Kavita Kanwar saying, just stay at the other end, no need to come. But instead she decided to go for another, and it's a complete howler in the middle. But nonetheless, the ones that are tasting victory at the moment is the Triple W's, as it is really slipping off hand for the Southern Jaguars. And it looks like the skipper has given the ultimate task to lead this chase, and all sorts of burden under her shoulders. Kapita to continue, and airborne.
Very nearly a third wicket. And have an eye on that asking rate is creeping towards 12. And I would say it's already beyond manageable proportion. But as far as the Triple W are concerned, they would want it to steeply climb and cross perhaps 15 and count the opposition out of the reckoning. What a fine cricketer she is. Sita Rana. Absolute utility. Wonderful with the bat and very handy with the ball. Oh, gave a bit of air, and I think it's a wicket. Kabida walks back. That's another nail in the coffin. As far as Southern Jaguars are concerned, is someone who offered a glimmer of hope to take them anywhere close to a target. It was Kabida, and she is walking back, and the Southern Jaguars require nothing short of a miracle here to be in contention to come anywhere close to a target that the Triple W's have set.
Well, she's almost been squared up. We are being absolutely bamboozled by Sitarana Magar, as this one spun quite some distance and traveling, maybe made some outside edge and has just knocked over the bails. That's an absolute jaffa from Sitarana Magar, and she picks up her first wicket. It's been an absolute sight to watch her bowl, as she's able to get a bit of turn off the surface, and she is spinning a story that could maybe lengthen the unbeaten streak, as this would be as they're entering their very third match and getting their third win, and they're sitting right comfortably at the top, and Southern Jaguars are in a whole heat of trouble.
Well, that's the equation. 109 needed from 9.1 overs in 11.89, almost 12. Reverse sweep employed, and with some success. Now, if she can maintain half of that strike rate, she has scored a 4 of the first ball, is 400 is the strike rate. If you can go at 200 and then sustain it for about 4 to 5 overs, then we can assess the situation from there on. They need a lot more of that. But if there is somebody who can probably hit some lusty blows and play some unorthodox cheeky shots like that, may not be from the coaching manual, but very effective nevertheless, it's Marina. Perhaps the last hope for the Southern Jaguars.
Well, it's 54 for 3, a situation that Southern Jaguars wouldn't have imagined after getting off to a great start, building that solid foundation in the power play. But since then, it's been going down the hill for them. Trying to sweep this one, finds the fielder at square leg.
Looks a little frustrated, Vinny. Struggled to get wickets when she was marshalling the troops early in the first innings. And now having to do the job with the bat, it's a huge responsibility on her shoulders. Unable to find the timing, unable to get the connect. It's a big stranglehold that the Triple W bowlers are having on the batters. Tightening the screw with 3 quick wickets is looking extremely difficult. Another attempt to cut straight to the fielder. Tapping her pad with the bat in anguish. The body language suggests a thing or two here about the mindset. And the body language of Dinesh in the commentary box also suggests something about his mindset. He's sitting at the edge of the seat, which clearly means he's really, really enjoying the match.
Well, I certainly do agree with you, Sri, and well, hope this contest will come right down the wire. But at the moment, Vinny couldn't find a bit of timing or maybe find the edge and find the gaps as she does after a flourish of dots that has been piling up. And not just the dot has been piling, it also, the pressure has been piling up in the mindsets of the batter, as both the batters would really want to get those timings and get those boundaries to put the pressure back on the bowlers. But luck has really run out at the moment.
The asking rate is skyrocketing. It's almost 13 at the moment. With every dot ball, it's going to climb further and further, more and more out of the reach of the Southern Jaguars. They need something spectacular here, nothing short of a miracle. These two batters are quite capable, but can they and will they do it now is a question. Time is running out. Here comes the end of an over, a very quiet one, a fantastic one from the Triple W perspective. And it is 12 gone, 56 for 3.
Well, a staggering 103 needed in the next 8 overs. It's a really, really heavy task. High mountain to climb on, and looks like it's the skipper who wants to bowl from the Negara end. And it's 56 for 3. As things stand, the game does belong to the Triple Ws. Well, talking about Winifred, and she has to really think positive. When during positive mindset, it gives the freedom for them to attack, and no sorts of pressure would build up. And that mental stability is always important when you're trying to chase a mammoth total. And at the moment, they just can't keep their nerves cool. As Elsa is taking the battle on to Marina. Hiked on the leg side, but that's impact on off and maybe not hitting the stumps, but that's clear intention, but the execution is not on par. And she goes downtown with some power, but the fielder could really do a great job at the deep, just preventing from getting the boundaries. Well, once again, the effort in the field has been no short of perfection. It's been really, really great. Couldn't find any sort of errors in the field, but surely in the delivery, as it's a juicy full toss, and given the freedom and a much needed boundary needed, where they've been put in a turmoil at the moment. It's a full toss right there, and invitation given, and no sorts of hesitation going for the shot. Wonderful from Winifred. And just tips over the bar, maybe brushes the fingers of the fielder. And going for the second. It was a close call in this situation again. Slightly hesitant to get to the other end. But nonetheless, Winifred does make it to the popping crease. A boundary followed with a couple of runs. Well, during the power play, a run rate of 7 is what they were seeking and looking forward to touch 8. But since then, they've really fine and been in hard times of looking on those sorts of run rate. But one thing's for sure, the asking rate has been steadily increasing and now bordering 14 per over. And it's 95 from 7. As things stand, it's 64 for 3.
Well and truly and firmly in control of the proceedings are the Triple W's, and all set. There's no miracle, there's no surprises. As they say, cricket is a game of glorious uncertainties, and it's often a funny game and anything can happen. They say it's not over till it's over. But logically, commonsensically, analytically speaking, I guess they're all set to register what would be the third win, and that would affirm them as the best team on view. A wide, a rare one from Amna today. She has been very, very disciplined. Got a wicket as well. Has been quietly doing a job for the captain. Never easy to come and bowl when there is a siege on card. But she has done a great job. Hit in the air, but nobody there running down for a single. It is never going to hurt the Triple W. So long as it's kept down to singles, they will be relatively happy. The asking rate almost 14 is 13.95 at this stage. It is slipping further and further away from the Southern Jaguars this match. They've got a mixed bag of results so far. That's hit straight into the hands. No, I get the feeling it's a 6 or it's a 4. The umpire wants to confirm and he says it bounced within the rope, and but that was a mighty heave. But the Jaguars need plenty more of the same.
Yup, exactly. That is more of it, more of the intention and being executed really well. And again she goes, and she goes dead straight, and it will be another boundary, back-to-back boundaries to extend with more runs, and Marina is cruising, and more of this knock is needed at this stage to keep them alive in the contest. As in cricket, you couldn't read them off, and more of miracles do await if this innings is prolonged.
This is exactly what I was referring to when Marina made her way into the middle. She is capable of the big hit. She is capable of some improvised, unorthodox, cheeky shots. And another one, this would be a boundary as well. No, the fielder coming around it and cutting it and keeping down to a single. But some kind of a move on, but that's not good enough. Has managed to provide a temporary relief, bringing the required rate to 13.62, but still it's a very tall ask. They need to play out of the skin. They need to do something really, really massive, and they have to sustain it for a period of a few overs at least to be in the reckoning and be in the striking zone. There you go. This is Winfred this time. Lofted shot, but just a single. It was almost a chip. And that brings us to the end of the 14th over. It's 76 for 3. And with that, let me all...
Well, it's 14 overs gone. It's 76 for 3. Well, looks like the Southern Jaguars are real feeling blue as they would want to keep up with the task. But unfortunately, they really put the brakes on it. Triple W's. Elsa Hunter really leading the side very well and with one eye on their very third victory in this afternoon, I suppose. And they're doing everything, all guns down against the Southern Jaguars.
Single. And I just get the feeling perhaps Marina would prefer the slower bowlers. And she has 5 deliveries to go in this over. And if you really want to put some doubts or panic or set the cats among the pigeons, this is her time. Yes, she does precisely that. That's what you call picking the spot. She knew what she was doing and was in absolute control over it. And then she did that with absolute disdain and some amount of panache and flair. What a shot. Irrespective of the situation, you applaud such shots. That was hit with such immense surety and with some power.
Well, she got complete control of the shot, and it was a free gift offered by Elsa Hunter. The bowling slightly overpitched, and she dines out completely on that.
Reverse this time, but not quite getting it. Her thinking is right. There's nobody out there once it gets past. And there's nobody fine as well on either side, or rather on the offside. So with a reverse sweep, exactly, but not quite getting the timing or the contact. Wanting to come back for the second. The thinking is absolutely spot on, but not quite the execution.
Well, I'm glad that she had such clarity to go behind square as there's no protection in the deep behind. But the thing is, the execution should come free-flowingly, which has been the struggle again, going on top and just tipped over the bar this occasion. Well, they're hanging on the line, and Winifred was living dangerously in this occasion, trying to be aggressive, but again, the execution is just not on par, which the Southern Jaguars have to watch out on. A slight edge or maybe a miss execution could cost them.
That's the end of the over. 15 gone, 83 for 3. 70s is required of 30. Not impossible, but quite improbable. And with that, it's time for me to welcome Aryan Premji into the box.
Hello everyone, and a very good afternoon to you all, wherever you may be watching. Game looks all but done and dusted. Just 5 overs left. Run rate required above 15 and over. Skipper Winfried still there, but it's gonna be really difficult from this stage. As you see, Dhanusri coming on to bowl her third over. 2 overs, none for 12. Gets it off the inside half of the bat. They'll be looking to come back for a second, but they have to settle for a single. Winfried wants a second, and rightly sent back by Marina, who's been playing well so far on 20 of just 12 deliveries. But sadly for them, it's most likely not going to be enough in this contest. Looks like the Triple W's continue their winning streak. The moment they've won 2 and have had a washout in one of the games. Marina goes straight down the ground, running away towards the boundary. Can it be pulled back? Yes, it is. That's excellent fielding at the long off fence. Keeps it down to a couple. Even though they know that the game is all but done and dusted, They're still giving it their all, which shows the commitment. Let's have a look at it again. Just held back inside the ropes. Beautiful piece of fielding there. We see some tired legs in the batting dugout.
But looks like Tanushree is setting a field accordingly to protect Marina, preventing Marina from scoring a boundary at any cost. And look at that, trying to play down the leg side, but she couldn't get the connection she wanted. And that surely makes her distraught for not getting the runs. And again, we haven't seen a big hike up in the run rate. While the numbers look certainly worrying, but the emotions and the inner confidence hasn't been dampened yet. Again, a lack of bounce that made, well, it was a slight problem for Marina to go for the biggie.
Just 4 overs left now after this. Just completing the formalities, you would think. But it's important that Southern Jaguars, despite the fact that they're probably going to lose this, they don't take a hit to the net run rate as she goes over the extra cover region, gets an outside edge that is put down at the short third man fielder. That's a difficult chance. Puts in a good effort. Let's have a look at this again. Fuller outside off, came down the wicket, looked to go over the offside, gets an outside edge, and might have done a better effort there if she went with 2 hands. And shorter goes straight down the ground, but straight to the fielder. That long off will just be a single. Another good over here, just 6 runs off it, and 4 overs left in it. 70 runs to win at 17 and a half. Let's have a look at the Worms. First innings, a lot of big overs, as you can see, especially after that drinks break in the first innings. There was definitely a shift in the impetus. However, in the second innings, it's been slightly on the lower side, which has yielded in the difference between the 2 performances. So definitely the triple W's have led well with the bat, and they're bowling really well over here to back up their batting performance.
Yeah, we could see a lot of skyscrapers after the 10th over. You could see 10th and 11 being just above 15, and the 17th over being the highest of them all, which proved to show that the brute force being unleashed by the batters. And the focal point is Sita Ranamaga, who had played a valiant knock in the Western One Women's innings. And most importantly, they have put a price on the wicket and not losing them, building those partnerships in all costs, keeping them well tight. And looks like Southern Jaguars have really not kept up to the task. Well, they have had the luck in winning the toss, but apart from that, it's been the flip of the coin being the darker side, as they have been not able to really show their true intent on what they have come to accomplish today. The talking points has been mostly been Western One, even in their bowling as well. Look at that. Fairly at their economy has been under 6, apart from Elsa Hunter, has been quite expensive, but she wouldn't bother as well. But the key thing is the amount of extras they've bowled. They've only bowled 3, which proved to show that the triple W bowlers has been really right on the money and not giving away much. The key thing here is the discipline that has been shown in the middle, and it's Sita Ranamaga to bowl. So slightly fuller, dancing down the pitch, Winifred.
It's been a really good performance, first with the bat and now with the ball.
They could do nothing wrong here today. It's been just swinging in their way.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the only wrong thing they did was losing the toss, and I don't think they would mind that one bit. They were happy batting first, in my opinion. Managed to put up a mammoth total, 20 more than the highest score in this tournament.
Yeah, they wouldn't want to bother to lose a toss. as long as they would want to win the match.
And this victory is all but ensured that they would end up qualifying for the future stages. Stem charges down, gets a high full toss, pulls it away. Again, no timing on it. We'll just stop in the outfield and they'll come back for a second run.
Well, there's premeditation that she would want to pre-fire those ones, as she stepped on the pitch quite some time ago before the release of the hand, and she had just belted over leg side and trying to go for the reverse again. The reverse has often been a go-to shot, but at times she couldn't muscle it or maybe time it, knowing that there's no protection in the deep. But the bowling has been very, very good. She's been bowling according to the field, which makes it more harder for Marina to go for this innovative shots. And thick outside edge, and looks like the feint of edge just traveling to the gloves. And it's so symbolic. That's what happening in the middle here. Again, another one that just slipped off. Feint of edge just finds the glove of the keeper, picking up the pieces. And Winifred, the skipper, could just resist, but not in this occasion.
Yeah, even the bad balls again, the wickets. Let's have a look. Short, wide, looks to cut without any real fit movement. The front foot did not go anywhere. And she pays the price. All going the way of the triple W's in this contest. And looks like the run rate is also going to take a big hit for the Southern Jaguars. We know how important run rates can be. Might not come into question given that they are on odd points, while all the other teams would be on even points. But you never know. See, Mia Adra, the new batter in at number 6. Sitarana now 2 wickets for 18 runs. What a miserly spell she has bowled. It's been so difficult to get wickets. She herself has managed to get 2.
Well, she's definitely one of the primary contenders of women of the match, definitely, for the performance that she have showcased today. In spite of the injuries and the cramps she had earlier on, she manages to get those all away and provide her utmost best in the bowling as well.
It's beautifully bowled once again, just looping it up there and asking the batsman to play a shot, but just enough turn to beat the bat. And you make a very, very valid point there. Despite the cramps, despite all the fatigue, managed to come and bowl her 4 overs at a run rate of 4.5 and still managed to get 2 wickets. What a spell this has been. Just 3 overs left now, 65 runs needed at 22 runs to the over. Sobika, the left armer, bowling a third over. She goes for the reverse, so this time connects, and there's a misfield which allows a boundary. Good innovation that by Marina. Been one of the only limelights in this innings so far with the bat for Southern Jaguars, striking at 160. It's herself with 32 of 20. Let's have a look at the replay. Premeditated but effective. Gets it into the gap behind square. Gets a boundary. Will she go again?
Well, innovation has been part of a game and it has brought immense value in this innings. Look at that! She has the audacity to go for another one back to back. Full marks for execution, but the field not helping her to reach the boundary, which she definitely feels quite disappointed about that. But nonetheless, in spite of all this hard work, she's not getting the prize that she wants. That 4 runs.
Beautiful batting again. It's good to see such innovation in the women's game. Seen it a lot in the men's. Again, this time.
And the 100 mark comes with those acrobatic shots that she has played. And she steps down. She's whipped it across. And a good stop there in the deep. Couple of runs being taken.
Good running there in the end. Managed to come back for a second.
Well, from the going, we can see that Mia is just trying to give Marina on strike and let her play her shots. And I think that should be the take. As things are slipping off hand, she is providing some hope for the Southern Jaguars. Swing and a miss in this occasion. Good bowling there. Good comeback from Swabika.
Once again, just after the boundary of the first over, it's been a good comeback. Just 8 runs off this over. Good comeback. Marina, 36 of just 24 deliveries, playing a gem of a knock, sadly for her. And the Southern Jaguars, it's going to end up in a losing cause, you would feel. Once again, goes for the reverse sweep, no timing again. And appeal, but not given by the umpire. The end of 18 overs, Southern Jaguars are 102 for 4.
Well, as the saying go by, nothing is impossible, but things looking really, really miraculous at the moment. As a really hard run rate to climb. It's 28 needed in the next from each over that they play from now on. But they have not much overs left, as there's only 2 overs to complete the proceedings of the second innings, which was looking pretty good at the first. They were really on point in hitting those boundaries and getting those run rates to a decent one. But they've been crumbling after that, giving those wickets away, and no sort of partnership and clarity in the batting has led them to a turmoil. But they still believe that they could achieve, as Marina came in clutch to put the runs on the board, and the innovation has really, really given glimmer of hopes at the dugout of the batting.
Again, just 12 deliveries left. Southern Jaguars would love Marina to face most of those. Go straight down the ground, cannot get the single. 57 needed from 11 deliveries. Three bowling her final over.
Well, looks like Mia Arda's joining the party in showing her skills and what she could do with the innovation there. Well, that's much needed, knowing that there's no one behind square, but the timing was not the best in this occasion.
Yeah, Mia just rubbing off Marina's energy there with some improvisation of her own. There's not enough pace on the ball for it to go all the way, but nevertheless, 2 runs to get herself off the mark.
Carved it on the offside and just nutmegs us through. This gives them an option to go for another one. Well, this has been a rare phenomenon in the fielding there. Or maybe just fatigue just getting under the skin and the sunshine just giving a blind spot maybe. And a good fielder of the game, Sita Ranamaga, rarely makes this mistake. But she is human after all.
I think she was trying to effect the run out before she could pick up the ball. He looks to go towards extra cover this time. Manages to pick it up. Prevents a single. Just 4 runs off this over. Get a single, quick single there. Just 5 of this over. Brings back Marina on strike. Last delivery of Dhanusri's spell. Going for 23 in her 3.5 overs. And sending well outside off. Looks to go towards the leg side. It's getting into the gap. But will just be a single. Will they come back for a second? Yes, they will. Interesting to see they chose to come back for a second. Be good to have Marina back on strike for the final over, but not to be. We have 1 over left and 50 runs to win. Now mathematically impossible as well.
Yep, there's only 6 legal deliveries at the right end, and even you had 6 runs a ball, you could only fetch 36 to really, get in line with the margin. But marginally speaking, things look really impossible at the moment. Well, damage has been done earlier on, and looks like the construction work not really effective to keep them alive and maybe construct a really good building to maybe be more stable. A stable start will give a stable end, but at the moment stability has not been there in the batting. But nonetheless, it looks like proceedings and a walk the path for the Western Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it's been an excellent performance from them with bat, with ball, and also in the field. Back to the bowlers. Once again, looks for some innovation. Gets it straight to the fielder. The wicket will just be another single.
Well, Marina and Mia are just hanging around there to really face through these innings. But at the moment, it's Marina who has paid a match-saving knock.
She find her way to a half century here somehow. And looks to give herself some room, but gives herself a bit too much room. And in the end, well bowled there by Sobika. Watching her feet very closely. Needs 3 boundaries to get to her half century. Looks to go again through the offside, but cannot get it. Everyone is inside on the offside except the long off. The invitation is definitely there. It's 3 fours in the 3 deliveries that are remaining to get herself to that half century.
And again, she hits this one. Finally, she could get some contact with the bat after failing to hit the previous 2 deliveries. And 2 deliveries left. It's Mia Arda on strike against Swabika, who's coming over the wicket. And once again trying to hit this one straight to the fielder. Run out chance. And ricochets. And they go for a double. Well, they wouldn't mind much about it.
Let's have a look again. I think that must have hit her on the foot. A strong lady there. Let's have a look here. Ooh, I'm sure that would hurt later on. Looks fine to continue for now. Last delivery of the innings. Once again, looks to go for the reverse sweep. Once again, no connection. And that's the end of the innings. Southern Jaguars just managed to get 113 for 4. And all happy faces in the Triple W dugout. Skipper Elsa Hunter is a happy skipper. They win by 46 runs, 45 runs rather. And they've all but ensured that their unbeaten winning streak continues in this contest. You see the handshakes from both the teams.
And this has been the highest marginal victory in this tournament, winning by a whopping 45 runs, set by their and breaking records that have been set by Western Wonder Women themselves in the very first match when they posted 119 runs and bundling out by 81 of the Central Super Girls. That was a margin of 38. In this occasion, breaking their own records. They've been breaking records and they've been dominating this entire league so far. As this is what has been the outcome and the story been written, and the vital role played by Sitarana Magar and the three musketeers, I suppose. It's Sitarana Magar, Elsa Hunter, and Divya Saxena being instrumental in putting up a mammoth total of 158. And most importantly, the only lady to lose a wicket is Elsa Hunter, but navigating their way was under a belt. And most importantly, the only wicket came as a consolation was from the skipper, winning the contest against Elsa Hunter, and not much success, having won the toss and elected to bowl first. Well, it was pretty much a similar case. They ran out of luck and no much of credibility at the end of the power play. Apart from that, when they lost Kavita Kanwar, they might have seen losing the talisman, but then came Marina, who had really put up a good fight back and playing a good counter attack role against the Western Wonder Woman, and Noor Dania backing up Marina during a reign at the crease. Apart from that, more success for Sitarana Magar. Not only she could bat, she has proven her worth in a bowling alongside Amna Sharif, and the fielding has been exceptional. And only giving 3 extras shows how disciplined they've been throughout the bowling.
With that, Western Wonder Woman won by 45 runs. And we have a look at the points table. Western Wonder Woman, the only unbeaten team so far in this tournament, and they improved their net run rate with that victory. Eastern Lioness with 1 apiece, 1 win, 1 loss, and 1 no result from their 3 matches. But their negative run rate is not something to be too happy about. And the Central Supergirls, after the loss today, have moved their run rate into the negatives, negative 0.2, and they only have 2 points. Southern Jaguars also with 2 points, but with a far inferior net run rate. Lastly, the Northern Queens yet to get off the mark in this tournament with 2 losses in their 2 games.
And so far, the first team and the second have a margin of 4, and Western Wonder Woman have clinched a victory and extend their unbeaten streak, sitting top of the table. And with that, match number 7 has come to an end, and I'm signing off from the comment box, Dinesh and
Aryan here from the commentary box, as we'll meet you downstairs for the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the post-match presentation of Match 7 here at the Malaysia Super Women League. A run feast, as many as 271 runs being scored, and with a fantastic performance with the bat and later a clinical performance with the ball. It is a triple W, the Western Wonder Women, who emerged winners today. Congratulations, big congratulations to the team. And let me call upon Winfrey, the captain of the Southern Jaguars, please. Winnie, what can one say? Not quite your day today. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we lacked in our fielding. So we gave many runs in our fielding and also a lot of extras. And I hope the girls learn from what they did today and come back strong in the next match.
If you look at the first 9 overs, you didn't get a wicket, but you had the run rate under control. And after that, they took the game away from you. Do you think, in the hindsight, you could have done something differently as a captain?
I think we bowled well in the starting 10 in the 9 overs. So we were actually lacking from experienced bowlers. We just couldn't get the correct bowlers to bowl because we got a lot of young players in our team and they are inexperienced. So I think from playing this game, I hope they learn a lot from the other teams as well. And I hope after this they come back strong and learn a lot from this game, this tournament.
You had a very short break between the 2 innings and you were chasing almost 8 and over, 159, a tall ask, the highest score ever so far. What exactly was your communication to your batters?
I just told them to just go in there and play their game and just enjoy, have fun. Don't just swing the bat, but watch the ball and swing the bat. So we started well in the start. With 3 overs, we were 20-something runs, so we on track. But I think the 3 Ws, they restrict us in the middle over from I think 6 to 10 over. They bowled really tight, and we were struggling a bit at that time. So maybe if we could push a bit at that time, maybe we could be closer the target.
Hard luck today, Winnie, and good luck for the rest of the series.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And it's time to go across and meet a very delighted captain, I suppose. It is Elsa Hunter, please. Elsa, a great batting performance, a great bowling performance. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I think we did really well. Like we got to our target score, and I just want to congratulate Sita. She came in and really did her job, and then the other batters that batted around her as well. And us coming in defending 106, 158. They actually put up a really good fight. The other team put up a really good fight in the second half. But yeah, proud of the girls.
I think you're the best person to answer this question. We have had these discussions here when people said 120, 125 is a par score. Now that you achieved 158, have you changed it? Have you raised the bar? Do you think the par score, or did you overperform today?
I think that's a par score to have. It's definitely a really good target. We've already discussed before the tournament that we wanted to get at least 160 on this type of grounds and this type of games. So, yeah.
Right. Did you at any point feel that the target might be threatened? Did you think that the Jaguars were in with a chance during the chase?
There is, yeah, a little bit when Marina came in, obviously, and she hit a few 6s and a few 4s.
Right.
But I knew our bowlers would come back stronger and take the win for us.
Tremendous performance. Congratulations and keep it up.
Thank you.
And now it's time for the player of the match. And let me invite Mr. Ramani Batumalai to do the honors, the match referee. And we have had a few great performances. Marina, fantastic cameo with the bat again. And we had Van Julia. She played pretty well as well, but no doubts whatsoever. No prizes for guessing. For a scintillating knock of 62 and then doing it with the ball as well, it is the one and only Sita Rana. Sita, you may collect your award. And well done. What a performance. Don't run away. I need a few seconds of your time. Here's your mic. First of all, congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. I feel great because we went direct in final. That's why.
Okay. So I keep asking the same question again. 62 runs, 4 wickets. You enjoy bowling more or batting more?
I enjoy both. Now both.
Oh, that's great. It all goes well for the team. So going forward, I hope you keep the form up and let you go and join the girls and celebrate. Well done once again. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So that's it. Jubilant Sita Rana, jubilant Triple W, jubilant Elsa Hunter. And that's it from the presentation. Hope to see you in the next match. Stay tuned.